Hi guys, it's Archie Luxury, and I am back. I'm back after Sirocco's funeral. I am back in the Brisbane. I am back here, and I went to Sirocco's funeral. I upheld the Archieverse, upheld, upheld the Archieverse. And I got to tell you, it was a beautiful service. Beautiful service. It was a little bit smaller than I thought. He had about 13 people there, and partly the problem with Sirocco is that he was born in England. He lived in Melbourne for a long time. Then he came up to Bundy um 10 years ago, over 15 years ago. So he's kind of, it was a bit fragmented, his friends and that there. But the important thing is that he had a lot of people who loved him, and I presented the cards I did yesterday. I presented the cards to his sister, and I also gave her the the Christmas card I'd done, and it was nice to it was very nice to do. I think it's something they will appreciate. And I'm really pleased I went. I am very pleased I went. It was a long trip. Brisbane to Bundaberg is a long trip. It's 800 kilometers round trip. Pretty long trip. But the good news is that it was enjoyable. I really had a good trip. It was fun. Um yeah. Yeah, I had a really nice time there. So I'm very happy. Very happy to be I'm very happy I went. Bundaberg's actually I'm going to tell you something. Bundaberg is a really nice town. It's a really nice town. I hadn't been there. Well, I'd gone there in 2009. I drove through it when I made a road trip to Cairns. But I got to tell you, it's actually pretty nice. It reminds me a bit of America. It's got these huge, like in the center, it's got these huge um it's got these huge shopping centers, and you definitely need a car in Bundaberg. It gets hot. The weather was beautiful. When I was there, the weather was beautiful. I stayed at a nice motel. Um yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy my time in Bundyberg. Now, we've got some super chats coming in there, fast and furious. Let's run the intro and then let's start the show. Okay, guys, we're here. We're on the Archie Luxury Show, and we are having fun. That's the important thing with this, with the show today. We've got our first super chat in from my good friend Patel Philippe, and he says to me, Patel Philippe, $5. He says to me, this is what he says. He says, walk me through what's cool, hip, and what's shit on Monochrome today. That's right. What's happening on Monochrome monochrome today. So that's the website that I got to tell you, monochrome itself, they have some great articles there. Houdinki, I think, has gone a bit commercial, bit of a sellout, to put it mildly. But monochrome seems to be more cool. Let's have a look at what's happening on monochrome. Let's have a look here. Whew, look at this. Just come in here, and I've got to tell you, that Glass Hoot original. What do you think of that? I got to tell you, I think it looks quite nice. Look at that. Panda Glass Hoot. Glass Hooter, Panda Glass Hooter. Let's have a look what's here on monochrome today. We got Chopic, Antarctic S Mirrored Sincere. Okay. Interesting two-tone. I got to tell you, that's an interesting two-tone there. I like it. I do like it. You know, I got to say that I like that V with the links there. Let's have a look. The Doxa, the first Doxa sub 200 Azure for Caribbean retailer Art of Time. We got the revamped Oris Aquas. Got what do we got here? Fratello Milanese. What the fuck is this? What is this? We've got a very handsome Schwartz. I don't even, these brands, I never fucking heard of this shit. Have you ever heard of this? Some of this shit? The Glass Hoot, the Doxa, the Chopic, fuck Chopic. Oh, the Oris Aqua. The Oris is okay. The Fratello X. I never heard of that fucking brand. What else have we got? Grand Seiko. Oh no, that's the Seiko Presage GMT. That's nice. The Gerard Perregay Laureate Japan Ari edition, limited edition. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? This seat. And we've also got Baltic. Fuck that off. Oh, what's this? The new gold ceramic Breguet Type 20. Fuck me dead. I love a Bregster. I love a Bregster. What is it like? Oh, fuck. Yes, sir. The new gold and ceramic Type 20. Fuck. It's beautiful. Fuck. Look at this. So that's the steel. They released the steel ones. Yes. What about these gold? What? Fuck. Yeah. Look at that. That's actually, I got to tell you, the blue bezel, blue dial, blue subdials. Fucking absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. We've got a few super chats coming through fast and furious. We've got Patel Philippe, $5. Pull up the Chopic two-tone article and tell me what you think, big boy. And we got Fella, $2. Hello, Fella. Yeah. That's let's have a look here. I got to tell you something. I got to have a look at this. This is really quite beautiful. The Breguet. What's the fuck? That, just hang on, Tan. I'm hooked on this Breguet. Fuck! Look at the Breguet. Fuck! I like it. The Breguet helm. Oh, I love it. 35,000. It'll be The gold Breguet Type 20 comes with blue alligator strap equipped with practical interchangeable system. And if you want to give an even sportier look, Breguet includes a blue and white textile NATO strap. Fuck. Yes. It'll be part of the permit collection and priced at 35,000 Swiss francs. 35,000 Swiss francs. That's actually not 61,000 Australian. Fuck me dead. What is that in US dollars? Fuck, how strong is the franc? 40,000 US. Fuck. 40,000 US. AUD. 60,000. Fuck me dead. Fuck, is that expensive? It is beautiful. Fuck, I gotta tell you honestly. That is fucking crazy stuff. That is crazy, crazy stuff. What can you say about that? Fuck. Yeah, okay, let's catch up here. So we've got let's go back to this super chat here. Patel Philippe, $5. Go back to the Shopic two-tone article. Tell me what you think. Okay, let's get this article. See, oh fuck, I it's 39 mil. Oh, okay. I think the Breguet is fucking beautiful. That is beyond beautiful. They slimmed it down a bit because it. Yeah, wow. Fucking gorgeous watch. Yeah. Okay, the Chopic two-tone. Let's have a look at this fucking thing. The new Chopic mirrored Sincere Platinum Jubilee Edition. What does that mean? See, I don't see this as a real contender of a watch. You have to have rocks in your head to buy this shit, wouldn't you? No? What do you think? Would you? I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's one of 38. Fuck me dead. 48,000 Singapore dollars. Fuck. What's the case? 38.5 mil. Bimetal stainless steel with gold bezel. Crown guards and C-link on integrated basis. Box sapphire with AR coating. Okay? No big deal about that. Oh, it's a commemorative logo of Sincere watches. Fuck Sincere. Who the fuck cares about Sincere watches? That's just a retailer. Who gives a fuck? I don't really give a fuck about them. 38. Fuck me dead. You'd have to have rocks in your head to buy that fucking thing. No questions at all. No fucking questions at all. We got Fella in the stream. Fella, I want to say hello to Fella. Fella. Let me show you something, Fella. Good to have you here. I got my LV box back. I don't know if Fella saw this. Fella, I got my LV box. I got it custom painted. Fella, I got it custom done. And I'm going to show it to you, Fella. Because Fella, he bought... Which one? He got the gray one. Yes. Have a look at this. Fella. Unboxing. I got it back from being painted. Da-da, da-da. There we go. AC3. Look at that. Watch box. It's my watch box, guys. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful watch box. And absolutely, fella, I got that back from being painted by Louis Vuitton. There we go, fella. The special. They painted it. All beautifully done. Beautiful stuff. Nice work. We got a super chat here. Patel Philippe. $5. Your nephew, fella, just has picked up a full Eldry wardrobe. Wow. And is now looking at a 5208R. Pull up the 5208R and let him know the drum. Wow. Amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. What can you say about that? Let's get it up on the screen here. Let's see what is this watch that he's talking about. What is this model? By the way, guys, you can jump on anytime you want. I'm just going to get some beautiful links here. Who am I sending a link to? We got Jay Anthony. Let's see. He sent me some beautiful photos of Lange's. We've got, I'll send one to Doc. He's great. Red Shovel. See if I can get Red Shovel on. Marky Goldberg. He's always great guy. Kesslowitz. Haven't seen Kesslowitz for a while. Let's see if we can get him on. Rancher. I had a nice talk to Rancher yesterday. That was actually nice, reminiscing. Mr. GMT. He's cool. Who else is there? Hoffmeister. Let's get him on. OC, come on. OC got a bit angry at Narky Poo. Who else was there? Who's a good person to get on? So we had some good things. Good things are happening to those who wait. Phew. So let's have a look here. Who's this guy? Pawan. Let's have a look. Hello, how are you?
Hey, hey Archie, how are you?
Hey, I'm fantastic. Have I had you on before?
No, sir, this is the first time I'm here.
Hey, that's fantastic. Do you run a watch channel? Tell me about yourself.
So I am a watch lover, Archie, but yeah, I don't have any YouTube channel yet.
No, that's the best way. It's we're just calling up this Patek Philippe here, 5208. Holy shit, this is $1 million. It's a minute repeater perpetual calendar. What do you say about this? I think it's fucking amazing. 5208R, minute repeater, chronograph, perpetual calendar. Holy fuck, 3 grand complications, 3 complication grand. Well, 2 perpetuals. Yeah, okay. Well, you know what I'm saying.
So, Arch,
Amazing.
can I interrupt for you a sec?
Yes, sir.
Is this $1 million watch, Archie?
Yes, sir. 1 million
Oof.
US dollars. Over $1
Wow.
million. What do you think? Do you like it or not? What do you think of it?
It's Patek, Archie. I can't hate a Patek.
Yeah, Patek is very cool. I love Patek Philippe. I think it is very beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
And Patek makes beautiful stuff. How could you not love Patek Philippe? We've got Naki Leaks. Hello, Naki. How are you?
Fuck's sake, Dirk! Cut out the Indian. Hey, this is racist.
No,
This is Dirk doing. This is
a new
hey, this is Dirk doing his
Naki. This is a new.
impersonation.
I got some new
No,
leads.
this is Dirk.
My leads, Narc. This is the leads.
No, this is Dirk.
The leads. It's the leads.
This is racist, stereotypical. Cut out the accent. This is one of the worst Indian accents I've ever heard, Dirk. Dirk. Is Dirk?
No, it's not Dirk. This is
Dirk.
a good friend. Okay, we got a friend. Okay.
Name.
He told you his name. Come on.
What?
Naki.
It's Dirk. Ban him. That's not a real
Okay.
Indian accent. Come on. Come on. Come on. Dirk.
No, it is what it is.
I think.
How are you?
Yeah. So yeah, this is a shocker, Archie. Who's this guy?
Is that you, Tap?
Tap.
Is that
Yes,
Tap?
sir. Yep.
Buddy. Diet Sard. We got Diet Sard here.
Yep. The one
How
that
you
works
going,
for
buddy?
free, Knock. The one that works
Hey.
for free.
How you going, buddy? I thought it was Dirk doing an impersonation.
Nah, Duck only impersonates Indian women, Narky, not Indian men.
I love you, Tap. This guy's gold, Archie. Gold. I'm going to jump off so I can just listen here. I'm hard. I'm aroused. Thank you for jumping on, Tap.
Yeah, too much information, Narky.
I retract some of it.
Yeah.
There we go. We got the Naki, and we've just got my good friend Mark Goldberg. Mark Goldberg is an absolute legend.
Markalicious.
We've got a
Hey,
new
Mark.
member on the panel. Tap. His name. Tap. What's the best way to refer to you? Tap.
Yes, sir. Tap is good.
Tap.
Tap
Good to
is
meet
good.
you, sir.
I got
Good
to
to meet
tell
you too, Mark Goldberg. I'm a huge fan, Marky.
How huge are you? You know, just for reference.
Now, I'm too young for you, Mark.
Too young?
Yes, sir.
You know what? Where there's hair, never mind. Okay, you're too young. We'll go with that. Hey, how you doing there, Archibald?
Hey, I am fantastic.
Well,
Absolutely fantastic today.
well,
What do you think of this watch here? This is a $1 million watch.
ooh, well, of course I love
What do you think? It's a perpetual calendar.
it. Why so much though? Oh, it's a minute repeater. Got it. It's got everything. It's the mother of all complications.
Yes. It's fella. If you were look, I got to tell you something. It's way outside of my league. Okay, Marky.
Well,
It's
I mean, let's
way-
be real. Who buys this? This is, you know, this is something that Sylvester Stallone would have bought, but now they might not sell it to him because they're angry at him.
Hey, but he got $3 million richer, Mark.
Are you sure that you're not like Saad's son? Because you sound very, very much like the Generalissimo. Are you undercover, Tap? Are you just using a voice changer and you're actually my good friend, the General?
Nah, unfortunately not, Mark.
No,
I can hear his positiveness. He's very cool.
distant
tell you-
relative, perhaps. Well, I think that $1 million watch is beautiful, but I still bet it comes with a gold toothpick where you have to poke it like every 100 years.
Now, I want to know what the fuck does this go for? They say $1 million. Let's have a look at Chrono 24 and see what this fucking thing sells for. Do you reckon it'll be even on there? I don't know if it'll be on there.
It won't be on there.
I take 5208. Let's have a look. Oh no, they have.
Look at that.
Look at this. They've got the fuckers for sale. $1 million.
You know, the only one that really has the watch is the guy holding it in his fingers because everything else is just right off the website.
Oh no, the one here. There's a few.
I'm saying, I know I see them.
The cheapest is $1,050,000.
Well, maybe we should like sell a we should like network. Everybody put in like 50 grand and we'll syndicate it. So 20 of us will get together and we'll buy it together.
Lots of money, Mucky.
Yeah,
Mucky,
yeah,
I don't know what planet you are on, but
yeah, we each put in 20 grand and then we get to wear the damn thing for like 1 week a year. It's like
Sounds
buying
like a
plane
Ponzi
or-
scheme, Mark.
Yeah, that's how racehorses are bought, airplanes, by syndicate.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Racehorses.
Yeah.
By the way, I went to the funeral for
Mm.
Sirocco yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually, I want to say something. I want to say that I met Sirocco's previous wife, Sue.
Mm-hmm.
She actually does racehorse rescue now. She's got a little farm where she looks after rescue racehorses, like
Mhm.
racehorses that are no longer winning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in other words, she's saving them from the glue factory.
And lovely lady, really, really nice lady.
Is she
And
single, Archie? Is she single? 'Cause-
I think she is, but she was just a really nice lady. I really liked her. And I've got to tell you something.
Mm.
When we die, Sirocco had 13 people at his funeral, right?
Mhm.
And partly because
Wow.
now
That's-
partly the reason for the numbers not being so great was he was born in England. He didn't have children. He'd lived in Melbourne for a long time, and then he'd gone up to Bundaberg. So, he kind of he lived his way. He had a very good friend, Mark Hamo. Hamo was his good mate. Hamo,
Mhm.
good friend. I said to Hamo, Hamo, bring Mark's Mercedes to the funeral. Bring the Mercedes Benz.
Hmm.
And I got to tell you, one thing I really liked is Mark, 3 interests: watches, cars, boats, 4 interests, and women. Okay? Watches, cars, boats, women, and also he liked a beer. He liked a beer.
Okay,
Stella.
so that is not 3. We're up to 5.
Five. But what I'm trying to say to you is when your time comes, I really felt with Sirocco there, he actually in the service they mentioned the Archie Luxury live stream. They said he got much enjoyment out of it. And you mightn't realize this, Mark, but that really meant a lot to me. I thought, wow, I've made someone happy who was going through a fucking very difficult patch.
Can I just interrupt you a quick second, Arch? Tap, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Well, if you keep this up, the only thing that anybody's going to be able to say to you at your funeral is you were on the Archie Luxury live stream. So my advice is to get out now. Otherwise, your great accomplishment in life, like mine, like Sirocco, is going to be this right now. Sorry, Archie. Go right ahead. Continue.
Yeah,
hey,
no,
Archie, you were 8% of the entire audience. I'm really glad you went.
Yeah, my son went, I went, and look, I got to tell you, $1 million. Fuck, I think this watch, jokes aside, okay, this one in Hong Kong is the one I would, because Hong Kong's not too far for me.
Well,
Fuck.
How can you wear $1 million? I mean, how could you wear it? Come on, what do you do with
How
this?
could you not wear it? Look at it. It's
How could you not wear it? Easy. You'd need a fucking armed guard at your side at all times.
So, guys, Arch and Mark, I have a question for you.
yes.
What would be the competition at $1 million range? For example, what other watch brands are there? I know Richard Mille, they go for $1 million. What other brands?
Does it matter? I mean, like, does it matter? I want to buy a jet for that money. I want to buy a mansion in Miami with 1,000 bottles of baby oil in it. A watch is the last thing I'm going to buy. Come
Mark,
on.
oddly specific.
Yeah,
I gotta
well,
tell you, that's a good question. I think really this watch would be top of the absolute tree there. There may be some complicated Langes. I don't know if they'd be this sort of price range. I think Richard Mille. You get into one-off Rolex. The amazing thing with this watch is it is modern. This is a modern $1 million. So you've got a lot of technology, like silicone. You've got really amazing technology in this. I think it's a game changer. You buy this watch, this is it. We've got another super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Find me a Radomir you love and a Radomir you hate. Good question. Radomir. Now, so that's the Panerai themselves there.
So,
I got
Archie, question for you.
yeah.
Should a young person below 30 buy a Panerai as his first watch?
Panerai is a great watch. I got to be totally honest with you. I think Pam makes some amazing stuff. I think it is a what I honestly I would love to add a Pam to my collection. Now I'm actually trying to slow down a little bit. I'm trying to get out of watches. I'm trying to reduce what I've got. But let me say this to you. A Pam itself, far out. I got to tell you, a Radomir. What don't I like? Let me tell you this. Looking at these watches on the screen here. There's a lot to like. I really like. Let's have a look. What's this blue? I like this blue. 45 mil. Look at that. That is fucking beautiful. So the Radomir is the more traditional one. Traditional. And one I hate. Oh, what do I hate in you know something I love the California dial. That's something I love in the Radomir, the California. That's where you got half Romans, half Arabics. That's so beautiful. Do I hate anything in Radomir? Look, I don't think I hate, but less liked would be something with white dial. I think you've got to get white dials haven't done well in Pam, so that would be more the way I would steer the conversation more than actually hating something. I love them. I think they're beautiful. We got another super chat here, fella. $2. How much for me to buy it? How much for me to buy it? That's very good, fella. That's actually pretty good question. Yes, this is the AC3. I tell you what, I will sell this to you for 50% of the current retail price. Okay, I think it's 13.2 Aussie. Okay, I think it's 13.2 Aussie. So what that means is, fella, 13.2 Aussie. I give it to you for 50%. Divide that by 2.
It's like 6 point something, Arch.
6.6. There you go. There you go there. What do you think there, fella? What do you think? What do you think, fella? Plus shipping and whatever it costs to get it to you. I want a net in my hand after fees and everything. 6.6.
And Arch, I have a suggestion for you.
Yes, sir.
If you are shipping the box to fella, you should also have a handwritten note with your autograph on it. It might convince him to buy the bag or the box.
I don't need to sell it. We'll see what he says. Patel Philippe, $2. Why did Louis not paint the fake box you bought? I actually sent that back, Patel. I sent it back and got a full eBay refund. I got a refund on that. We got another super chat from Patel Philippe. What I should change is the Pam that I don't like. I think my favorite Pam. No, it's two-tone.
So, Arch, question for you. You would like this question.
Yes.
What's your views on gold Panerai? Is it a good watch, bad?
You know what? I got to tell you something. To tell you the truth, on the secondary market, gold Panerai can be an absolute bargain. I actually would love to have a gold Panerai. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
That's surprising, Arch. I thought you would hate a gold Panerai.
No, I think they're beautiful. I think gold is such a beautiful metal. I love gold. I love gold. Always love gold. We got another super chat here. We got Patel Philippe, $5. Pawan Ban. Pawan.
It's a Hindi word, Archie. It's a Hindi word.
Okay. And we've got another one here. Patel Philippe, $5. Pawan, do you think Archie was too soft with TPG? Has he become weak in his
Oh,
old age?
hey, Patel, I like you as a brother, but hey, I won't disrespect Archie. It's his show.
Hey, he's okay. I got to tell you something. It's pretty damn fantastic to have you on here. We got another super chat here. Let's go and have a look here. Actually, that's a double up. Patel Philippe, $5. Pawan, do you think Archie was too soft with TPG? Has he become weak? We already did that one. We got another one. Patel Philippe, $5. Pawan, do you think Archie can eat his weight in chapatis? Is
Yeah.
that the crispy bread, the little crispy thing?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think you can eat it, Archie. You can do that.
You know what? I got to tell you, some of my favorite. If you asked me, what is my favorite food in the world?
Yes, sir.
It's Indian.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I love the way they make that they cook that chicken in the skewer,
Yep.
and they have the most wonderful green sauce. That sauce, fucking incredible. I love butter chicken curry. Oh my god, with the naan, garlic naans. Fuck, that is
No,
one of the most incredible meal. I mean, and I'm telling you honestly, I don't. I love lobster. I love big crabs and this and that, but Indian food is one of the pleasures in life. Oh fuck. And I got to tell you, the biggest letdown with I went to Fiji, a lot of Indian Fijians, but they use a lot of powder. The curry is powder based.
Hmm.
Whereas in England, I reckon the best Indian I've ever had is in England.
Yep. I heard the similar stories to you, Ash, that London has a good Indian food. I've heard the same from my other friends.
Incredible Indian food. I got to tell you that there. We got another super chat here. We got another super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Pawan, would you define Archie as Batamise, Biwakwaf,
Bearcoof, Arch.
Bearcoof,
Harami.
Harami, all of the above?
I think all of the above. So it's basically a slang. But hey, it's Dan is a super donor, so yeah, I can't blame Dan.
We got Patel Philippe. Pawan, should Archie sell the Beamer and get something made by Tata?
Archie, you have to get a Jaguar. So, full disclosure, Jaguar is an Indian-owned brand, but I would
Yes,
prefer
it is.
Yep, Archie, you should get a Jaguar, Land Rover Defender, Archie.
I tell you, the Indians have a long history of British cars. The Ambassador, that's a British car. Many great. We got Mike the Snake joining us.
Hi, Archie.
Hey, I got to tell you, this blue pan, I really love the blue. The blue looks so beautiful. That's
I like it too. I like it very much. What size is it? Like 44?
45 mil.
45? Okay.
Good size.
Love it.
Good size.
And it's gold. It's white gold.
No, this is steel. No.
Oh, okay.
Steel.
Yeah,
Panorite
even better. I love this
steel.
watch to death.
Steel.
I love their clamp over. Their standard clamp over flip lock.
Crown Guard.
Crown guard lock. I love that about them, but I also appreciate their watches that don't have them. And this one has no crown guards at all and is actually beautiful. Otherwise, they just kind of have their other standard looks. They have like 3 standard looks, and that's Panerai. And then you have a few outliers like this, that don't follow the trend.
We're going to super chat Sam Davidson, £1.50 super sticker. And we got another Sam Davidson, £2. Love the almighty pontiff. Thank you so much, Sam Davidson. Sam Davidson is a great supporter. Let's run it
Come
now.
on, mate. I'm not like the shroom. The shroom. I'm not like the shroom. Answer me call, man. Come on. I'm a big fan, man. Come on. Answer the call, Arch. Love the Pontiff. Love the Pontiff.
Love the Pontiff. There we go. What a great. And we got Naki joining us for another.
Wait. I'm enjoying this, and Mike comes on, right? He feels threatened by Tappy, right? He's ruining it for me. Let Tap shine, Mike. Doesn't always have to be about you,
What are you talking about, man?
right? We've got Tap on here, new star. By the way, why is Tap on the bottom?
Hey,
He should be up the top.
Fine, put him there. I don't give a shit where anybody puts me.
No, you felt threatened. That's why you came on.
We love
Fine.
Mike. What are you
Put
talking about?
me at the bottom because I came on last. I came on late. So what, Mark? Fine. Archie, you know what I
Tap
love?
up the top.
You know one of my favorite Indian
No
food
one
things
cares,
are,
Mike.
papadoms. Remember the crispy papadoms?
Papa Don's. Yes.
They also
yes.
call them papads for short.
Tap, I
But-
love you, buddy. Seriously, you got talent.
Thank you, Nak.
No, why is it put Tap on the top, Arch? Why is Mike above Tap? Archie,
Narc, why are you yelling at Archie? What the fuck are you doing here anyways? Do you even own a fucking watch? I mean, dude, I keep bringing that point up, but dude, you're on here and you fucking blurt a lot of stuff that I absolutely
Yes.
agree with. I agree with you. I mean, and you're the one that has enough, chutzpah to fucking say it, and I'm like, yeah, that's really the truth, man. But sometimes, it's like sometimes you go too far or a little too hard.
Go across the line.
A little too far, a little too hard. The delivery, it's all, they say that the key to everything is communication, right? You can have.
Actually, you make some valid points. I can't say anything about that. You made valid points, Tap.
Okay, I'll finish my saying. They say the key to everything is communication.
Okay,
but
we'll
that's
take
not-
this offline. Can you
that's
ring
not
me? Hey,
true.
Mike, don't embarrass me. Please ring me offline. Can you ring me?
Okay, I gotta catch up with these super chats here. Let's
yeah, I
go
need your.
here.
No,
We got
I don't
another
have your
super
number.
chat here. We
We
got
don't need to
Patel
talk offline
Philippe,
now.
$5. We got one here. Pawan, do you think Archie could eat 100 gulab garments or 100 gold guppy like the old Tim Wright hot dog challenge?
So Archie, I think you should take this challenge. This comment I agree with Tan. You can do this challenge. It's easy.
Yes.
So
Okay.
have you ever had a gulab jamun, Archie? It's a dessert. It's an Indian dessert.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
Okay, but I think you can do it, Arch. It's like, yeah.
And what are golgappai?
Golgappa, it's basically like potatoes and what's that called in English? I don't remember the name, Mikey, but it's like
Is it like a samosa kind
it,
of?
no, it's not like a samosa. It's like a round shape where you have potatoes, some flavored water, and some seasoning.
Oh,
So
okay.
I think
There's no crust or breading or anything.
yeah, no, I don't think there's no breading, Mikey.
Okay.
But I think Arch, you can do this challenge. It would be ratings gold for you.
Ratings gold. Thank you so much. There we got Dirk Diglock, $2. Namaste.
Namaste.
Kaskan Pawan. He's saying hello.
Yep, yeah, that's Google Translate. Oh, hello, Duck.
We got JD Montreal, $7. Good to see you. Tap on the panel. New home.
Hey,
And
JD.
we got Patel Philippe, $5. Take Tap shopping on the Amiga site. Tap, what watches do you have?
So Archie, I only have an IWC Big Pilot. That's my luxury watch.
Wow.
And I have
What a
some
great
shitters.
watch.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mikey.
For a onesie? What do you
Yeah,
what do you
I only
think,
have-
Arch? For
Yep.
the one watch that you own that's high end, for it to be a big pilot, that tells somebody a lot about the person.
Big Pilot
'Cause-
is a great watch.
Yeah. No, for that to be your one and only like big, high dollar watch, and the rest are Seikos and stuff like that. just like my one is my moon watch, right? But
Mm.
everybody, my one moon watch is everybody else's the same moon watch. It's a standard part of everybody's collection. You know, for the one other watch that you own that's high end, and for the one watch you own that's high end to be a IWC Big Pilot, I mean that's like making a statement.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, I mean it's such a
IWC
big
Big
watch, a
Pilot.
big giant
Tell 'em I
onion
don't
crown.
get that. That's a great watch. I love it.
Oh,
So
I'm talking. I'm hoping it's coming through as a compliment. Because I think it's a great watch. I love it. It's one of the only IWCs I do like, and I think as a one watch, you know, I only own one nice watch. It's a Big Pilot. Like that's like, you know, surprising to hear from, you know, and impressive to me. But what do I know?
Big Pilot's a great watch. I love the Big Pilot. IWC, I got to tell you, that's a brand that I really do enjoy. I love a Big Pilot watch. I think they're fantastic. Let me just catch up there. Let's just catch up there. We got to go to the Omega website. How are you for Omegas? Would you ever go Omega? Tell me this.
Archie, I don't like the retail price of Omegas. I will be honest with you.
I don't like the retail price either. That is a big mistake. Are you in India or you're in whereabouts are you yourself?
I live in US, Archie.
Okay, because a lot of these things they tank. See, a lot of these things here, I got to be honest with you. We come to the Amiga website. What I really do like, I think you look at what I really do like. You're a big pilot. You like the icons. The icons. What I think is really nice buying is some of their historic. They have gone and done the reissues. I think some of those are beautiful, beautiful Omegas. Omega themselves, let me tell you this. Omega themselves, yeah. I totally get it. Some of the pricing is fucking it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I mean $10,000 for an Aquaterra, that's 7,000 US. Fuck. They're not cheap. These are
Yeah,
not cheap watches. I think you could do a lot better. Okay. And Omega has been putting their prices up and up and up, and I don't know what they're thinking. One of my favorites, let me show you one of my favorites, is the Amiga Seamaster 300. This is the
yeah.
retro with the broad
Mm.
arrow. I think this
The
is one of
heritage,
the,
right?
That's a classic, Arch. I like
I
this
think
piece.
that
Yeah.
is
This is
absolute
the one that
class.
I love too. I got a thing for this watch. I don't really like the regular Seamaster. I don't like its bezel. I don't like the helium escape valve, you know, conjoined twin on the other side. I don't like the bracelet as much. The 300 Heritage is much more my style. This is much more correct in my opinion. I
Yeah,
love
but
it.
Mikey, the only issue I have with Omega is the thickness. They make thick, chunky watches because of that. What is that movement?
Do you like thick and
Coaxial.
chunky? What do you think of thick and chunky?
Arch, I
That
like
was
thick
the
and
trend. That was the trend. They were very trendy at one stage. Thick
Yeah,
and
I don't mind. I don't mind heavy. I don't mind thick.
chunky. You can never go wrong. You know what they say there? You can never have poppadons too thick or chunky, you know?
It doesn't get thicker and chunkier than this right here, Archie. The orange monster. Look at that.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's funny. Thick and chunky used to be really, really fashionable. What
I
went
love
wrong?
it.
What went
I
wrong?
uh, I think just people's tastes. Because I loved my James Cameron. It was thick and chunky. I loved all my Panerais. They were thick and chunky. And my my Samurai and my Orange Monster are both thick and chunky and heavy, and that's what I like about them.
Mm.
So I think it just has to do with like people's, you know, style choices.
Exactly. I got to tell you, this watch here, I think is beautiful. Tell me this: are you a Breguet fan? One thing I thought was really quite beautiful. Tan was asking me to look into it. Did you see this Breguet? What did you think of this Breguet? Fuck! What did you think of the Breguet? Tell me what you
So,
think.
Arch, I love the history of the Breguet. I think this is the Civilian Air Command, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. This is
But
the
the thing,
Type 20. Type 20. This is the new one that's just come out, and it is
oh,
precious metal. Now, I want to show you something, not to be upset, but I love this is we can't get it to focus. It's not
yeah,
focusing.
it's not focusing, Arch.
Look at that. And it is a chunky monkey, but I think, this here, this is brown. This was so beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So I think this is the older version, Archie. Is this that older model?
Yes, that is the older version. And I got to tell you something. I'm actually looking at selling a few pieces off. And the reason I say that is, let me say this to you, is sometimes in life, look at this. See, that is so beautiful. But you know what? It's expensive.
Archie, is this a flyback chronograph?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, Archie, I think I was confused with Blancpain Air Command and Breguet, this one.
Oh, yes, I was a bit confused. Yes.
So, because they both are owned by Swatch, I think.
Yes, you're right. Tell me this: how old are you yourself? What age are you yourself there?
So, I'm 27, Archie.
20. Fuck, that's so young. And what do you do for a job yourself there?
Archie, I won't disclose it, Archie. You know what happened recently, sir, Archie. I will talk to you privately, but not on the show.
No, that's perfectly okay, man. Perfectly okay. Let me ask you this: with your watches, do you hope to add? How do you choose what to add? Would you add Tudor?
So, Arch, I like Tudor, but the thing is that I only buy watches if I get a promotion or if something good happens to me. I can't buy a watch every like 6 months because I don't have that income yet.
I got to tell you, if I waited for a promotion to buy a watch, I'd have nothing, because the only thing I got was the sack. I got the boot.
Hey, Archie, yep. I get your point, Archie.
Sometimes life is not fair. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I agree, Arch, but you and me both know that watches are a luxury purchase. It's not a necessity for us.
Oh, I don't agree.
I
I don't agree. It's I got to tell you, no, I'm fine. I got to tell you something, man. You have got to really embrace the watches. And that's the important thing. What are you buying next?
So, Arch, I like the Tudor blue ceramic, the new model they launched, blue dial ceramic.
Yes, I think I've seen that. It's really sharp.
So I like that watch, Archie, because it's ceramic and it's blue dial from Tudor, and I like all the combination they have, and it's a case back. So Tudor rarely have a case back watches, and that's, I think, one of the rare case back watch from Tudor.
Yeah, Tudor's a bit. What do you think of Tudor as a brand? Do you love Tudor?
I think compared to Omegas, I would prefer a Tudor. Yes, Arch. Compared to Omega, I would buy a Tudor.
Yeah.
Compared to what? To Omega?
Omega.
Yeah.
What is more prestigious, Omega, Breitling, or Tudor?
I think Omega would be the top dog, and Breitling would be number 2, and I think Tudor number 3. If we are going by prestige.
Yeah,
We got
and then
Jay
it's also
Anthony
a
joining
little
us.
bit
How are
model
you, Jay
dependent.
Anthony?
You caught me. I was just sneaking on for moral support. How's it going?
I got to
Hey,
tell
hey.
you something. I got to tell you something. This watch really caught my attention the other day. Let me just catch up on the super chats, and then I will chat to you guys here. Here we go. We've got a super chat here. This here is from Dirk Diggler, $5. Pawan, Huji American Kutsi Indian Chot. What is he saying there? Tell me what he's saying.
Arch, I shouldn't translate this. This is not PG. That's why I'm not translating it.
Okay, no worries. We've got Frank the Tank, member for 10 months. Tap. No one gives you a tap on the shoulder here. Yes, that's a good point. Producer Mark, $2. Imran Khan, Zimbabad. I loved Imran Khan, great cricketer. And we've also got here Patel Philippe, $5. AC3. Danny and I want to know, would you prefer power or head BG? Pull them up and tell us the drum. What are they? I don't understand.
I think those are Southeast Asian dishes. I don't think they are Indian, but yeah, it's like brain, Archie.
Mark.
Oh, I see. Yes, maybe not. We got Thomas Burnett. We got Thomas Burnett here. £5. Tap. What is your honest opinion on buying vintage watches from India? Are there too many Franken watches, or can you get many authentic picks?
So can I reply, Archie, to this comment?
Yes.
So if you are buying a vintage piece, always get a local guy, preferably in your own country. For example, I live in the US, so I think there are 2 to 3 good vintage dealers from New York that I will trust. But yeah, I would prefer. Yeah, I would have a vintage. I would always buy a vintage watch from a local dealer compared to an international purchase.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there. I think you've got to be so careful, because if you're not careful, you can get really fucked over. And vintage is something, it's a bit of a minefield. Mark has always said this as well. We got a super chat, Little Dave, $2. Okay, before we do that, I just want to say something to Jay Anthony. Jay Anthony, I've fallen in love, Jay Anthony.
Tell me more. How can I help you?
Look at the
Actually, we're
Breguet
going
on
to
this
arm wrestle
machine.
over you.
What do you think? Do any of you guys love this Breguet? This is a new Breguet just released.
I think it's
It's
beautiful,
Twisted
but I like
Lugs.
yours better.
Twisted Lugs.
Oh, it's thinner. What they've done is they've thinned my one. One thing I find very interesting with this watch, and that's the fact that this watch itself, it is so beautiful. They got the blue bezel, blue dial. The only problem with this watch is I could see how this could date. It could date badly. Like, I got to be honest with you. With my Breguet, I don't want to say it's dated, because I don't think it's true. I don't think it has dated. But the reality is they make it so trendy that fashion changes. And when the new one comes out, you prefer to have the new one than the old one. You know what I'm saying?
No, they never go out of style, Archie. They never go out of style.
You know, I love the blue, but I don't like the poor man's GMT bezel. That I don't love.
Yeah,
I'd rather have a dive bezel.
No, I like it, Archie. I like it's very sexy and sleek, man. That watch will last for. That never goes out of style,
It's
man.
60,000. It's 40,000 US, $40,000. Compare
That's
that
too much,
to
man.
this is my Breguet, a bit of a chunky monkey, and it was
Yeah,
brown.
but I like that dive bezel better.
Yours is
Okay.
better. I much prefer yours. And that
Okay.
I
40K.
like
Anthony
the
and I-
thinner case, though. The thinner case is nice, though. The new thinner case, but this one is nice, though.
Jay Anthony and I have spoken.
Yeah, this is not
It
even
has been-
close.
It's been decided.
Hey,
That's a
Archie,
look.
guess what happened to my Rolex, man?
Man,
Guess what happened to my Rolex, man? It's called flyback reset lever broke, man, because Russia dropped it, man. He didn't. That's why he gave it to me. So I took it to to that guy, and he wanted another $800 to fix it. I'm like, $800? I can fix it myself, man. My grandfather was a watch mechanic, man, watch maker. So I already fucking took it apart. I just got to replace. I ordered this piece. It's the flyback reset lever. It goes underneath the yoke that resets the flyback chronograph.
Super
That's
chats
all, man.
stacking up. Super chats.
We got some super chats. Have a look here. We got Little Dave, $2. Look at the Seamaster 300 titanium, tantalum, and gold. And I got to tell you,
Hey,
this
look
is
at my
one-
watch, Archie, man. I got
Hey, I just
old
picked that
school
up. I got to do the
citizen,
Amiga.
man.
I got to do the Amiga thing there. It's the Amiga Seamaster 300. Let's have a look if I can find this thing. Seamaster 300. I'll search by metals. Let's search by
I don't
metal.
like it, man. I don't like that watch. That's a James Bond watch from that
Tantalum.
movie, man.
Titanium? No, tantalum. Come on. Let's see if I can find it quickly by going to.
It's a good looking watch, Eddie. You'll like it.
It's from that movie. It's from the movie.
This is the Seamaster Heritage 300. It's a Seamaster, but it's different.
It's old school.
The one we're talking about that Archie's hopefully going to bring up a picture of.
Is this the one here? I'm just bringing it up now.
I seen it already.
It's just got. It doesn't have a big scalloped bezel, edge bezel. It's got
Is this the
more
one?
of a. No, not at all. This is your regular Seamaster. This is the Seamaster I don't like. He's talking about the Seamaster. Well, yeah, 300M, I guess. Yeah, I like the Heritage, the 300 Heritage, the old style one without the helium escape valve. And
I got to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan. Tantalum is a weird metal. Patel Philippe, $2. Tap. Who are the top 3 Chutiwas in the Archieverse?
Chutias.
So that basically means fool, Archie. It means fools.
Well, technically, Tap, it really is a female part, though.
Technically, yes, Marky, but it's a slang nowadays, so yeah.
Yes.
We got the Narc, $2. Tappy is greater than Mike the hyperbolic snake. We got Patel Philippe, $5. J. Anthony, the Narc, is looking to upgrade his Prius for his chicken shop delivery job. Best plug-in hybrid to Wild out in style in 2024.
Answer E, none of the above, but probably the RAV4 if we're going to do something foolish.
You think Toyota's got the electric down best?
The RAV4 is good.
Forever. They know better than anybody. They have all this figured out, at least reliability-wise at this point. The rest are still guessing.
Didn't Toyota work most closely with Yamaha with their IC engines mostly as well?
Yamaha's done a bunch of different stuff. I don't know if you remember the Ford Taurus. Remember that back in the day?
Yeah, I know. Yamaha's done a lot of work for.
They did tuning for that. They've done a lot of cool stuff.
That is an ugly
I heard they did a lot of the castings. Like they made the engine cases and stuff and the heads. Like they were the engine maker basically for, like Ford or Chevy or somebody went to Yamaha and basically this is a Yamaha based, engine.
Super chat.
I don't know specifics though.
We got a super chat coming in fast and furious. We got Patel Philippe, $5. J. Anthony, Tap, Mikey, would you ever consider doing the Cannonball Run?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep. If J. Anthony is bringing his Bronco, then yes.
Hey, Archie, man, I was watching your channel the other day, and you had this guys from that Gumball 300 race with that Ferrari, man, remember? And then his whole car, like all the ABS and all that shit turned off. I know what that is. That happened in my car before. It's when the speed sensor on one of your ABS, on one of your wheels, if the wire breaks or it gets unplugged, you'll get the whole fucking cruise control shuts off. You'll get a check engine. You'll get the whole fucking thing. You'll get no steering, power steering, everything. It's probably one of the wires that broke on. That happened to me one time. And I bought the sensor. I took it to my mechanic. And I told him to replace it, and he told me, he said, no, you don't have to. All he did was he just spliced the wire, and it was all good.
Hey, no worries. Patel Philippe, $2. Supercharger versus turbocharger, which and why? Jay Anthony.
Real quick, I have done a quote unquote cannonball run, and there's a local one in Texas called the July Fun Run, and you may find evidence of my former Corvette on it from July of 2014.
Very
But
cool.
somebody was killed. They ran into a tree in an Infiniti G37, so I stopped going. But I would do it again, just with more.
Speaking of the Cannonball Run, Jay Anthony, I love trees. Do you know why I love trees?
Riddle me.
Do you remember the movie, The Cannonball Run, the movie? Farrah Fawcett, she says constantly.
There's two of them.
I love
There's two Cannonball Runs, one or two.
Cannonball Run, the first, with Burt Reynolds and Burt.
Oh yeah, Sammy Davis, Roger Moore. Yes.
Yeah. And Farrah Fawcett, and she was constantly saying,
Yes.
"I love trees." Do you know why I love trees? Because at midnight you can lay under them and fuck.
Nice. Hey, to answer this super chat, supercharger or versus tubercharger, and which and why, and the answer is both at the same time. That's the true answer.
But the turbo has the lag, Mikey. What about that turbo lag?
That's why you have the supercharger that kicks in with no lag, and then the turbocharger kicks in up top. So you get the best of both worlds.
So I'm going to be a contrarian.
It's called twin charging.
Well, Volvo's made cars that way, and they're notoriously unreliable. The XC90 had that engine in that. I forget what it's called. I'm going to go with single turbo because to me, turbo leg is a lot of fun because when it kicks in, the car gets very unpredictable. That is.
Oh, yeah. Ask me about turbo leg. I own a 930.
That's half the fun.
Hey, what about a gas turbine? What about a gas turbine car instead of all that
Chrysler
shit?
Chrysler made one.
I remember Jay Leno has one of those.
It kept burning the grills off the cars behind it, though.
Hey, that car, that wasn't a car. There was like a test. It wasn't like a production car.
Yeah,
they gave him to like they gave him like 20 cars.
Chrysler.
Yeah, you guys know your stuff. There's a couple of survived.
The thing with the turbine engine, you can burn any fuel and anything combustible will burn in that engine, because fuel usually runs on kerosene.
Vegetable oil.
Turbines run on kerosene. You can run diesel. You can run anything that burns in that engine.
We got a super chat here. Patel Philippe, $5. Jay Anthony, what's scarier, being on the panel with Eddie whilst Russia has fucked up his watch, or ripping a Gen 1 Viper on a cold Michigan morning?
Hey, Russia, he gave me a broken.
Go ahead, Jay Anthony. Answer the question. We'll shut Mikey up for you for a minute.
Having done both, a Gen 1 Viper is a scary car in its own right. There's no airbags, there's no windows, there's no roof. The interior is shit, and it has no traction to start off with. And on a cold morning, the car is borderline undrivable. But it's fun, so I'd say the Viper. I know where Eddie's going to go. I don't know where the Viper's going to go.
That's basically a Mustang, Jay Anthony.
They always end up in the curb, right? It's like the so I'm going to nerd out because you guys give me a car question. So Bob Lutz was at Chrysler when they built that car, and they were trying to recreate the original Shelby Cobra, which was the same thing in the 60s. It was all engine with no safety. So that it's a perfect rendition of that car. Scariest thing I've ever driven at speed.
So, Jay Anthony, have you ever driven a Scat Pack? I think Dodge Charger Scat Pack.
Yeah, they don't put the power down too well.
Scat Pack.
Yeah, the Scat Pack.
Yeah, and more. You mean more? Are you going more towards like the Demon or the Hellcat? The Scat Pack's like the mid-range one, right?
Yeah, I meant the Demon.
Hey, there's like a Hennessy. There's like a Hennessy tuned. Hey, listen, there's a Hennessy tuned Dodge. What is that? The Hellcat. It's not a Hellcat though.
The red eye.
Like everything is. It's all made out of carbon fiber. Everything's ripped out except it's got like a roll cage. It's got like
So they made a race car out of it.
No, man, that thing hits 200 miles. It hits 200 plus miles an hour, and it really handles. I thought it was bullshit. I had it on this racing game, and it's real, man. That thing handles like, you know.
Hennessy is a tuner. They're actually in Texas. They're close to Houston. They've done twin turbo Vipers back in the 90s and 2000s.
Oh, yeah. They put
V8s
in
anything. Yeah.
They put V8s in Lotuses.
They built their own cars, the Venom.
In Lotuses.
I remember Hennessy, Jay Anthony. I remember their cars. They have their own cars now.
By the way, good to meet you. We haven't met before. I'm sorry. What do I call you, sir?
It's tap, J. Anthony, tap.
Top.
Tap, T-A-P.
Tap. T-A-P.
Yeah. Oh, good to meet you. So you're clearly a car person. What's your?
$5.
Tap, it's nice to meet you as well. I've not
Eddie,
talked
yes,
to you
yes,
before.
yes. And Eddie
Mike.
has left the stream. Okay, that's okay. That's not a problem. We can respond to consumer demand there. Let me say something. Tap is a young man, 27 years old. Jay Anthony, what's the best form of finance that we can build Tap's watch collection with? HELOC, credit card, or interest-free payments? What would you recommend?
I'm experiencing technical difficulties. I don't believe in finance. Cash is king.
Good
If you can't
answer.
pay cash, you can't afford it. Just be patient.
I
Yep.
snipped
Use
up
your
my
cash,
credit
earn
cards.
interest on it, and then spend the
Many
interest.
Americans waited until they could afford it. It was like the funeral I went to yesterday. They would never have experienced these wonderful things.
That's not true. I'm in my mid-30s, and I can do this stuff now. Just you're almost there, Tap. Give it another 8 years. You'll have the money. I promise you.
Yeah, thank you, J. Anthony. I agree with your sentiments.
Archie
Tap,
does the
I
same thing.
believe
You will.
Chase does a very nice platinum card for young individuals.
Yeah, to get them started on
And remember,
poverty
Tap,
and enslavement from
and
the very
remember,
beginning.
Tap, it's free money when you bought things on credit. Tap, you gotta look. There's a fine line. I think sometimes there's a time and a place. A little bit of finance isn't the end of the world.
You know what? Taking financial advice from Archie is like taking alcohol advice from the rancher. It's just not a good idea. But
You
we
can
do have a
actually
super
grade-
chat, Archibald.
We got super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Pull up
Gunther Works.
Gunther Work website and tell me what you love, what you hate, what you'd sell your soul for.
And you missed one, which we'll go back to in a moment. Let's do
I
that
don't
first.
know. What is this Gunter Work? What is the Gunter Work? What is Gunter
I
Work?
don't know.
Let's have a look.
Type it in, see what happens.
It's I gotta tell you there. Gunther, Gunth, Gunther.
ERWERKS.
Vex. It's German. You have a German car.
Gunther Werks. What happened to your double screens where you could see everything?
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of
My guess is
that.
they're like raw weight or raw well or whatever that Japanese guy is. They do custom body kits.
Oh, bravo.
They do
Yeah.
modifications
They do
to Porsches.
I like Boxsters. They don't do Boxsters.
No, it looks like they only do 911s.
Dude, how much
Well, when you see
are
what
they?
these cost, you'll understand why they're targeting the higher end.
Yeah, they're 300, 400,000 at least.
Oh,
But
I see.
they're also like insane. Every little piece is insane. Like the engine. I mean,
Oh, look at that
They're-
gear knob. That's sexy.
like compared to the same 300 or 400 grand that you could buy, let's say, a different brand car. These cars they're just, they're built by people that really know how to dial stuff in properly, and you just get a insanely performing hot rod. They're actually, if you're really rich, great way to go. Hennessy or Gunter Works or Singer or companies like that modify Porsches.
Give me a Gambala Mirage GT. That's my pick.
What do they do? They pick old Porsches, secondhand ones, and then do the work on them?
I heard they like 964 shells to start with, or 964s as base cars.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Air-cooled
I
body.
got to tell you
Listen,
something,
you
man.
missed a super chat above that one,
We
right
missed
above
a
it.
super chat. We got a super chat after this here. Patel Philippe, $5. J. Anthony Goldberg. What would the likelihood be if Archie lived in Victorian England that he'd end up in the debtor's prison? Very high chance.
Pretty high chance. I would say you would likely be tortured with the Pope's pear. And if you don't know what the Pope's pear is as a torture device, then you could look that up.
Ooh, that's
I'm not
scary.
touching that one. I'll just nod and agree that this would have happened 30 years ago too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look up the Pope's pear.
Yeah, I'm not touching this one.
Oh,
It's all gone
that's nasty,
pear-shaped.
Mark.
It's pretty. Yes, it is. Listen, I don't mean to intrude, but did you do this one? I'm going to put it up on the screen. Did you see that one from Jefferson Exotic?
Jefferson.
I'm not sure
Yes,
you did
yes,
it.
we did. Eddie's gone.
Oh.
Eddie's gone.
All right, gotcha. Okay, sorry guys.
I gotta ask you guys something. Seriously, I want to ask you guys something. We've got new guys in the house here. I got to tell you, these watch brands, they do very irresponsible things. Like, what I really feel disappointed is I want this Breguet. I really want this Breguet. How
Too much
stupid
money.
would it be for me to use my HELOC to buy this thing?
Come on. Let's go back to the debtor's prison and let's put that picture of the Pope's pear back up.
Okay. Do you see?
Out of your
Don't you
mind.
see this is so beautiful? A two-piece Breguet
Yeah.
collection or not? No.
No, Jay Anthony and I have decided it's no damn good for you. It's been
I
decided.
hate the bezel. I mean, it looks flat. It looks like an old aluminum Rolex bezel. It doesn't look like it's a nice looking watch, but it doesn't look Breguet to me. It looks like a hodgepodge of different styles. Yours is way nicer to me.
When I saw that at first, I thought it was a Zim.
Yeah, I mean, it copies a bunch of stuff. It's got some IWC in it. It's all over the place. It's got some Blanc Bond.
I love the font they've used for the Breguet in the gold. Isn't that sexy?
It's got
I like the logo. Yeah,
it's got an identity crisis.
yeah. This doesn't say Breguet to me at all.
It's got the syringe hands of the Patek, you know, that some of the world timers have, or like, yeah.
Hey, I love this watch, Arch. Arch, spend some of that HELOC money.
Yeah. What do you
No, look, spend that money. Beautiful watch. Look, I love this panel. You got Mark, the OG. You got Jay Anthony, the intellectual, the pragmatist. Love the high energy from Tap, and we've got our mascot, Mike the Snake, the Archie mascot. Great panel. That's all I want to say, Arch.
And we have the turd in the punch bowl. We're glad that you're
Yes, that's me.
We're glad you're here.
Tap. I love your energy, buddy.
Love you, nerd.
I was saying that to Tap.
Keep your love to yourself, Mikey. Narky doesn't want it.
All right, that's all I want to say.
I know. Oh, I
Thank
know
you,
some
Nark.
people come at me, but I don't. It doesn't.
I'm wondering what's wrong with Nark. Is he taking SSRIs? Is he on antidepressants? Why has he gotten so nice? What happened to him?
We've raised the vibration of this whole chat. We're bringing some class to it, Mark, and it's just he's having to get into it.
Thank God you're here. You've changed his life.
Thank you, Jay Anthony. I want to say a big thank you to you for letting me appreciate what I have instead of what I can't afford with money I don't have. Okay, You've got to
I'm a spiritual advisor. Happy to lead you.
Yeah,
to the
it's
source
funny
of
how
joy.
Breguet just brings out such beautiful stuff, and it's so cool. It's only when they bring out the new model you realize, hey, I like the new one more than the old one. But thank you for being supportive of me and letting me appreciate what I already have, because it's only from being responsible that one can move forward. Otherwise, you can go backwards very quickly on these expensive things.
Credit to Jimmy too, because he called it out, and now I can't get it out of my eyes. The date between 4 and 5 looks like it was crammed in there as an afterthought.
I agree, Jay Anthony. I agree with.
Well, it does.
I get to
It's too close
it out.
to
Now I
the
can't
way
stop
the
looking
four
at
is
it.
chopped off.
Yeah, that looks really weird.
And you know what? Hey, look at the two.
They've all been hacked.
Yeah, you are right.
It's just weird.
Actually, we got Patel Philippe, $5. Show Tap, the cheapest Boxster in Australia, and ask him if Archie would sell the Beamer to buy it. I got to tell you, sometimes these cars can be very bad things to buy. The cheapest Boxster in Australia. Let's go on to car sales. Car sales. Let's go and have a look and see the cheapest Porsche Boxster in Australia. Let's have a look. Porsche Boxster. Search. It's 135 in Australia. Let's go low to high. This is the cheapest. There we go. 17. This is actually not terrible.
Arch, we are not seeing on the screen whatever you are.
Sorry, apologies. Here we go. coming on the screen now. This is the cheapest one in Australia now. Look at this. This is the cheapest Boxster in Australia, 17.4.
Oh, 986. Stay away from that. That's got all sorts of problems. That early one.
It's not
IMS,
terrible.
IMS, war scoring, Tiptronic. This is a manual, thankfully.
Yeah, this is a manual. It's got 200,000 kilometers on it. It's very. I like that mint spearmint green. Look at the spearmint
That's not a
green.
factory color, is it?
That's
It looks like it's
beautiful
been
color.
painted.
Yeah, color is
I think
good.
you got a quality
Well,
maker.
Jay Anthony,
paint
they
job.
managed to put 200,000 on it.
Yeah, kilometers? Yeah.
Yeah, guys,
That's
the
probably a
color
common
looks.
rollback.
Yeah, the color looks very similar to a BMW M4 or M5.
I think you're thinking of the Z3 or the Z4, the Roadsters. Or are you thinking of the convertible M3s, and now they're called M4s?
Competition. I'm thinking about the competition, Jay Anthony. They have a similar green color, I think.
Oh, the color. So I was thinking of the car. Yeah, I can't imagine this is a factory paint color because I've never seen that color before, unless it's like a paint to sample.
Oh, that would be
Um,
disappointing if it was.
I think this is a rare paint color. I was just working with somebody, talking with somebody who has an older Porsche, but it's the same kind of aqua color.
Can I tell a story about one of these? Because I almost bought one at one point. I went to the dealership. It was a Boxster S. It was a 2003, I think. And the first thing they said to me is, "We've just reconditioned this car with $8,000 in work." And that was an immediate, "I don't want to buy this." They sound really good. They have no torque, and they're very neutral, so they don't feel very fast, and they're very composed. So not a very exciting car, but the flat six sounds really, really good. But the dealer bragged about 8K in service.
8K in service. Fuck. How much was
This
the
is
car?
I think the car. This is like 2013. It's when I bought the Vet, and so they would have been probably about 27,000. I think at the time they wanted for it, and they were bragging about the 8K they put into it. So this is a
Actually,
10-year-old car point.
I remember I was looking at a Maserati and they said the same thing. Oh, the engine's been totally redone. And I'm thinking, do you often have to do this sort of shit? Is it normal or
That's rebuilt.
it's sort of yeah. It's
Ron.
the 986 are actually becoming collectible, but
They are definitely undervalued. I agree with you.
me and a friend, we wanted to play a game where we'd start at one end with a Rolls Royce and just trade cars through dealers until the end. We came out with an old fucking piece of shit at the end. If every dealer you did a trade with lose money, you could very easily come back with nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That's what most people do. You wanted to do that intentionally?
No, I'm just saying, how many turns of the dice could you start off with a cool car and end up with absolutely nothing? You could very easily trade and lose on every deal, couldn't you?
Well, if we think, actually, let's do a real world example. So my brother-in-law's father just sold his Phantom. It was a 2010. He sold it, I think, for 85,000 US about a year ago. The car new was about
on it.
Hmm?
Mileage.
I was like 30,000. It was barely driven. I think it was a 600K sticker car.
Yeah.
So if you would have kept it, 14 years, you lost $520,000 US. And then he bought a BMW 740i current generation to replace it, which you and I talked about how much we dislike those.
Yeah.
That car, he paid 120 for it. That'll be a $20,000 car in about 3 or 4 years. And so we took 600K and we're going to make it 20K in the span of about 16 years.
And why did he get rid of the Rolls Royce? Was there any problems with it?
So those cars have a couple of issues that are just common. So one is they have what's called the PAX system. It's like the run flat tires.
I know the PAX. That's the wheels.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You can't fucking put the wheel. You got. Oh my god. So what you do is you get a later model set of alloys and wheels. Okay, that's a common. The PAX system. Did you know a set of PAX tires and wheels is worth about $20,000 to $30,000? They're actually quite valuable. It was a system developed by Goodyear. Goodyear developed this system, and it's actually not a bad system. The problem was nobody took it on. So to be able to, And the thing is, you can't put normal wheels onto a special PAX alloy. It's got to be a PAX rubber
Yep.
tire, and it's
with those pucks, yeah, you can't.
and that's
Why
the
is
reason.
that?
They literally I'll let Archie explain. He clearly knows it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an absolute bitch. Basically, the rim itself will only take. You need a special machine to fit the tire onto it, and apparently, apparently it only you've got to have a special PAX machine, which costs a fucking fortune, right? So few of them exist. So you've got to find a tire dealer who has a PAX machine. He's then got to have rubber for them, and the reality is it's an orphan system. Nobody, I think somebody else used PAX. There was another, was it McLaren? Or who was it who used PAX? Someone else used PAX. It was one of
Was
these
it Liebach? Yeah, who was it? Yeah, I don't know. I know what you're talking
exactly
about.
what you mean. So basically what you've got to do is you take the wheels off. The alloy is completely useless. And you put a later model Rolls-Royce wheel on. Okay, fair enough. Okay, and what's the other fault with his Rolls-Royce? The fact it's got a BMW V12?
Well, he got out of, yeah, so the V12s, they have, the fuel pumps are like absurdly expensive if you can even find one if they ever go out, and they tend to go out at a certain mileage. There's just a bunch of items that when they go wrong, everything's $20,000. And when the car is worth $80K and every repair is $20K, it becomes a point of why would you do this?
But the question is, look, let's be totally honest. These are not for poor people who buy this car.
He's not poor, no. But
it's a statement car. You understand? It's a statement car, isn't it?
He's got a supreme amount of money. I don't want to say too much about him. I guess he got bored with it more than anything.
But what I mean is people use that type of car.
Mm-hmm.
You find that a lot of these supercar, like Rolls-Royce and Bentley and also Ferrari and Lamborghini, a lot of them have very low mileage because they're owned by people who own 4 or 5 houses. They have a summer house. They have this house. So the car lives in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is they do very little mileage on them. And then after a certain period of time, they say, "Fuck it off! I want a brand new one." And to be honest, if you were that rich, that's the price to pay. I mean, there are certain kudos when you turn up with a Rolls Royce. This is what I found with a BMW. Okay, now, I mean, BMW is nothing that special, but I have got respect for people with BMW because they will fucking bankrupt you. Let me tell you this: you own a new model BMW and you actually want to use it as a family hack or as a family car, that thing will fucking kill you. The brakes, the tires, it is not a cheap car to run. Rolls-Royce.
Bring money with you.
And tell me this, did he enjoy his Rolls-Royce? Like, it's not just it's a certain click to have the Rolls-Royce.
So you described his lifestyle. I don't want to say too much about him. I don't want him to feel like I'm talking about him behind his back. But he has a lot of cars. He's got Shelbys. He's got they've got quite a few cars. This was a toy. He didn't have a chauffeur. He just drove it around when he felt like it, or brought it to weddings and stuff. It was a toy.
When I was into autocross racing, there was a couple of guys that took an older generation Boxster and ran it on 15-inch wheels, actually. And gutted it and lightened it up, and it was formidable. I mean, it was national level in its class.
Smaller. What's the standard wheel on a Boxster?
Probably 16 to 18. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I would.
Bigger than 15. 15s. They don't put 15s on anything anymore.
I would have guessed it was probably 17, given the era it's from. And my bet they were staggered.
Yeah, my E30 had 14s.
Well, that's
they rode back too, right? Because you had more tire back then. They actually rode nice.
Yeah, had big, tall sidewalls.
We got a super chat here. Patel Philippe, thoughts on the Porsche Design 992 Dakar watch? I will call it up. Jay Anthony, just want to ask you quickly, with the Rolls Royce, was it two-tone or what color was it?
It was silver.
So I like the two-tone. They break the body up by having the And did he have the speckle star roof in it as well? The
I
stars.
transparently, I never sat in it because I mean, no, I hope he doesn't watch this. It never really interested me that much.
Okay,
I don't know.
Sat in it.
I never sat in his. I've driven them, but I've never was in his personal car. No.
Okay, and you know him quite well.
I mean, he's the father of my brother-in-law, so yeah, I do know him. He's an interesting guy, big car guy. He has 800 horsepower Shelby.
What did you with the Rolls Royce? Was he bitching about how much he lost, or what was the story with it? Like, I get it.
No, I mean he just bought a yacht. He's doing just fine. But I remember him and I talking about. I think just the pain in the ass factor was a lot at some point, right? Because like you said, swapping out the rims and at the fuel pumps, it just becomes not worth the effort to deal with it, and it's becoming an older car.
It's enjoyable if you really love Rolls Royce and you're the second owner or third owner, and you know these little idiots. There's some YouTube channels on the stream. People love them. I think that real enthusiasts do understand them and love them. You know what I mean?
You're not a Silver Seraph guy? You don't want the last pure Rolls Royce?
I tell you honestly, when I love the Phantom. I thought the Phantom was got to remember the Phantoms were so much more expensive than the Seraph. The Seraph was they used a BMW engine as well.
Yep.
Okay, so they're not really the last of the last. If you really want to talk last of the last, you're talking Silver Spirit Series 3. Okay.
I like those. Very boxy. Yeah.
Because they use the 6.75 engine in them, the V8.
With
that's
adequate
the last
horsepower.
of the Rolls Royce. The Seraph was kind of I actually love the Seraph. It's also the Bentley version is the Azure. The Azure.
Yep.
And some of the Bentley, I got to tell you honestly, there was a great YouTube channel called Josh's World.
Okay, I don't know that one.
He bought an Azure and he just spoke about his ownership, but he was a true enthusiast. Like he said, you got to check this, you have this problem, and you check this. And I think sometimes rich people buy these things and they just don't give a shit. Okay. They just don't give a shit. Like, I'll give you an example. I know BMW is fucking flawed. Okay. You're talking to me. I know about the N20. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. My salesman, when I bought my car, I knew it was made in Mexico. I said, "Is mine made in Germany?" He goes, "I'm not sure. I think it is." Bullshit. It's made in Mexico. He just lies.
Look at the VIN number. Yeah, whatever the first leading number of the VIN is.
That's not so. It's a little bit dishonest because it anyhow. But let me just tell you this. I knew. He said he tried to tell me how great run flats are. He goes, "Look, what happens if your wife is in the car with the two children and she gets a flat on the highway and da 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 da? Wouldn't you like to know she's safe?" And I said to him, "I don't want to have to replace the tire because I got a fucking nail in it. That's $500, $600 tire. You're telling me that's okay?" They just spruik absolute bullshit. But I tend to treat my BMW like a Rolls Royce. Okay, like I do drive it, but I'm always aware of extra oil changes, oil and filter. I'm also aware if I break something, I'll put the car in the garage. That's not my only car. That's a car. I've actually done a fair bit of driving. I did a road trip, which I did 4,500 kilometers, and I've just gone to the funeral. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to let it sit for a bit now. I've done a big spread of kilometers. I'll just calm down a little bit. But that's okay. I don't mind that. I don't mind doing that. I'm just saying to you, this is the thing with these things. If you treat it special and really look after it, if you give it a bit of juice, I don't really thrash it I drive it pretty shit. I drive it pretty, because I'll be honest with you, the speeding offenses are so bad in my country. You want to be very careful anyhow. They got cameras and they got speed averaging cameras as well, which is a real cunt. So they average the speed from 2 points to work out just fucking our country. I tell you honestly, everyone says this is the lucky country. Fucking nasty shit. You know, why do you have to nab good citizens?
Real quick counterpoint. You've talked about Americans being different. So in the U.S., if I see a 15 or 20-year-old Rolls Royce or Bentley, it's driven by a poor person. And if I see a 1980s W126 560 SEC coupe, that person's rich. Because the person that bought the W1,
you see what?
if I see a 20-year-old Bentley Continental Flying Spur, it's driven by a person who cannot afford to drive it. They bought it as a used car for 50 grand with a loan they can barely afford, and they cannot afford the maintenance.
Do they do that in America? Are they that stupid?
Those cars are use luxury cars are in America. You see these buy here, pay here sales lots. They're full of older BMWs, Mercedes, and luxury cars. And 20-year-old Bentleys are not worth hardly anything here. They're bought by people that want the badge. They can barely keep them running. And so if you saw,
I think in my country, Bentley or Rolls Royce is always expensive. Okay, they're never that cheap. They're not really. I got a friend of mine who actually he bought a 09 Bentley. That's the Continental Cabriolet. And he's quite well off. He's very well off. But the funny thing is, with that sort of car, a lot of these people, he knows he's a car enthusiast. He got 4 Lotuses, for fuck's sake. The guy's got 4 Lotuses. He's a car enthusiast.
This is the Esprit guy you were telling me about.
Yeah, sorry?
This is the Esprit guy you were telling me about?
Yeah. I'll just say goodbye to Eddie. Eddie, we got paid to boot you off today. I can't let you back on until tomorrow, Eddie. I'm sorry, man. That's the rules. But we thank you. Thank you, man. I love you, Eddie. This is the Dakar 911 Dakar 992 watch.
Huh. I've never heard of this. I know the car, not the watch. I know this was a watch.
Yeah.
This is a Porsche design watch? Yeah, it's Porsche design. Okay.
Yeah, I like
it's a value movement.
Porsche design was working with IWC. I think those were the glory days. It's not really my cup of tea. It's not really my cup of tea. We got a super chat here. Producer Mark, $5. My 2023 Miata RF GT is the best. Actually, I would have to agree. You know something? I got to tell you, in some ways, I regret getting the BMW. I wish I got a fucking Miata. I don't know. I don't know. I think
we have one. They're great.
Look, the BMW is nice because it's a 4-door. It's a 5-seater. Okay, it has certain benefits, but Miata, I dream of actually getting a Miata in the future. Miata, that's the #1 selling sports car in the world. Okay, it used to be MGB, I think it was. They totally. What I love about the Miata is they're actually expensive. They're not, for what they are. They're very dear, I think. Okay, I think they're overpriced, but
oh really?
It's the best bang per buck sports car you will ever get. They get a bit of shtick. People don't think they're manly enough, but I think that's all bullshit. I think they're an incredible car. I would much rather have Mazda mechanicals to pay for than Porsche mechanicals.
Absolutely.
We have an NB. We have an NB. It's an awesome car, and we're not worried about our masculinity, which is hopefully a problem most people can get over. I'm with you. It's a phenomenal car.
Here we go. We got my 2023 Miata RF GT is the best. Doing the Chai to rally soon. Best Wicked to Archie, Lux, Mike the Snake, and Diatan. Let me tell you,
a long drive.
I owned a Miata. I had an NA, the first series, with the 1.6 liter engine, no power steering. And
not needed. Not needed.
Luxy,
such a lightweight car.
No, it did need it. Okay, believe you me, the 1.8 after it with power steering is much better. Believe you me, Mikey. No,
Right.
Mikey, no. The one Luxy had an NB. He had it. I don't know if you know Miatas, but it's NA, NB, NC, ND. The current model is ND.
You like the NC, which I don't, right?
Sorry?
You like the NC, which most don't.
I like the NC, yeah.
I like the ND. Yeah,
is the best. They also had the hard top, foldable, retractable hard top. They were heavier. People criticized them because they put on a bit of weight. I personally love the shape. And secondhand, I love it. If I could get one, I like the black or the red, or all the colors. Mazda doesn't really have bad colors there. I'm not so sure I approve of the Targa version. He's got the Targa. I don't
Yeah,
know if I like the
RF.
Targa. I gotta tell you honestly, I'm not sure whether I could actually
I don't fit in the Target one. The roof's too low.
I gotta tell you, I don't know if I like the buttress sides. I don't know if you remember the XJS Jaguar had buttress. The buttress.
Oh yeah, the 80s, really 90s ones. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I really, mind you, one of my favorite Porsches now is the current 911 Targa. I think that looks beautiful. But when the original one came out, I never really liked it. But the current one, I think they're fucking beautiful, 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 beautiful. The funny thing is, Ferrari did some Targas. They always leaked.
Yep. Yeah. 308, 328. Yeah.
And you know what? The thing about Mazda I love is they basically took the Mazda MX-5. It's styled like a Lotus Elan from the 60s. And that car was problematic. Okay, it leaked. It fucking unreliable piece of fucking shit, really. But Mazda managed to turn it into a reliable bestseller. The Japanese, they're not very good at originality, like design inspirations. You think, but they can make shit reliable. And I've got to tell you, I think myself, I think the new Supra owners will get a little bit cheesed off that it's not as reliable as they, Toyota jumped into bed with BMW because the European supremacy, they feel inferior, but they should have done their own car.
Yeah. Well, they did the same thing though with the FRS/BRZ. I mean,
Yeah,
so they can afford. It's not worth just spending all the money on their own. So they use BMW for development cost. I've driven the current Supra. It's a very nice car. It honestly does. To me, it doesn't have a lot of personality to it. I think it's a beautiful car, but to drive it, it has no emotion to it. It's just very clinical, sterile. Actually, I'm gonna do something selfish though, because you said something to me like 2 weeks ago, and it hit me that you and I may have another hobby in common that nobody else on the stream's gonna give a shit about. But I want to ask you. I know we both like trains, but you mentioned about the SS United States, and it occurred to me: do you like ocean liners? If I said like SS Normandy, does that do anything for you?
Look,
we have that chat?
Hang on a minute there. Hang on.
Okay. Because I'm a ship guy more than anything.
Wow. Gianthony, man of many interests.
There's a word for that. It's called nerd.
Yeah. Consider, me calling the kettle black. I like all things that are cool,
You
for
really
sure.
know cars. Yeah. It's all engineering, right?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it all. I love just if it's cool, I like it. It doesn't have to be race always. I love anything aeronautical, but I also love watches. I love I love the design of bridges. My dad was an engineer, so
I can tell.
when I asked a question, my dad didn't just sit me down and say, the juice goes in here and it makes this thing spin. He'd sit me down and draw out armature and wires, and this spins because of the magnets, and he gave me really complete answers.
I had to get this as soon as you mentioned ships. One of my favorite books, which I have spent hours reading, is this book here, right?
There's a Normandy right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had
this
a feeling.
book here, Liners, Tankers, and Merchant Ships. And what I really love, this has just got facts about so many vessels.
Yes.
I really love to understand one thing that I think is absolutely amazing. I'm going to call this up. So let me get this up on the screen here, right? I tell you,
I had a feeling.
this is one thing I really think is amazing. Is if you compare the Titanic
Mm-hmm.
versus a modern cruise ship.
Oh, it's tiny. 182 feet. It's nothing. 45,000
There we
tons.
go. You know, you look at this, right? You look at this, right? This is kind of the size of the Titanic to a current vessel, right? Look at this, right? So it was quite long, but it's, and I mean, Titanic itself, if it hadn't have sank, it wasn't, you know, there was 3 ships. There were 3 sister ships, the Titanic, the Olympic
Britannic. Yep,
and
the Britannic.
The
Britannic.
Right? There was 3 of them, right? And all it did was it had compartments, right? So you could have an airtight compartment if certain things happened, right? But I mean, in all honesty, the ship was it was an old, by modern standards, it's a very old type of vessel. Okay, it's a flawed. Well, anything is flawed. Okay, it's got a certain. The thing about any of these ocean liners is, do you know what the life of an ocean liner is?
It used to be 20 to 30 years back in the day.
20 to 30 years. Okay, so if it's really, really lucky, 40 years, right? And by which time they scrap it. And it's like a commercial aircraft, like an aircraft. What's an aircraft? What's the life expectancy? Well, it depends. The answer is how
many times you cycle the pressurization of the cabin.
Exactly. It's like the Hawaii. Was it Hawaiian Airlines that actually?
Yeah, where it blew up in flight.
They didn't do a lot of flying, but it did so many cycles, takeoff and landing, and
fatigued a bunch of rivets.
I'll just be one tick. Just hang on one tick there.
Bunch of rivets failed because of fatigue. On my airplane, during my annual inspection, mechanics discovered some smoking rivets, and around the underside spar area, and I called Vans, and it had already happened to other Vans RV12s, and so they sent me this reinforcement piece of aluminum that I had to drill out all of the rivets and re-rivet this like laminate piece over the area, and get rid of the smoke.
You got a doubler plate.
Yeah, it's a doubler basically. But they caught it because the rivets were smoking rivets, because when they start to move just minutely, they cause a little bit of dark soot. And when
Speaking of rivets, were there people trapped inside the Titanic that never got out when they were making the ship?
That's bullshit. I will say, so I know more about the ships than I do about watches or cars. So I'm going to briefly, just to your point, even at the time the ship came out, the Titanic was not that remarkable. It was the biggest, but it had old triple expansion steam engines. The Mauritania, the Lusitania had turbines. It was old technology. And within a year, you had the British, or the Germanic 3, the Leviathan in that class, the Bismarck and the Vaterland, that were superior to these in every way. But we remember this ship because it sank on the first cruise. There's a free Titanic simulator you can get online too, called Titanic 401. That if you want to walk every deck of the ship, you can do that too. It's cool.
Look, I think the Titanic would have been long forgotten if she didn't sink.
Amen. Yep.
You know, like it really wasn't. It's like everyone says the greatest. It's like Americans, the greatest. Everything is the greatest. Everything that comes out is the and at that time it possibly was the greatest. But
6 months, yeah, great. Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of conspiracy. I mean, the Costa Concordia, yes, it's a longer vessel. Costa, you know, that's the one that the idiot.
Yeah, Scatino. Yeah, Scatino, whatever. He's in jail now, where he belongs. Much bigger ship. Yeah. The Normandy I brought up because that is, in my mind, the best ship that was ever built. That's my personal favorite.
But I got to tell you, I think the SS United States, that's kind of, I was actually sad that they're scrapping it, to be honest with you.
I'm sad too. The people that own the dock where it's parked are they're just fed up with it sitting there. It's sad.
Well, I suppose if you own the dock, you want to get the biggest return you can out of it, don't you? Do you want this old fucking thing?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Side note: Vicinity knows their military ships. The Yamato, yeah, battleships is also incredible. I didn't mean to take it, but you and I had a feeling. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail us, but you got me excited when you mentioned the SS United States.
Yes, it's the thing is, to renovate that ship, to refurbish that vessel is more expensive than building a new ship.
Yeah, with Solus current, requirements now, nothing on that ship meets modern standards, like fire safety or like the whole ship has to be redesigned. It's totally unusable right now, safety wise, which sucks.
Yeah. It wasn't amazing because it holds a record. It was a very but Americans aren't very sentimental, like the first. I mean, what do you do with all these firsts, like 747s, like these?
That still exists. That's at Boeing Field in Seattle. You can go see the first 747, thankfully.
And I mean, a lot of 747s are wrecked.
Yes.
I'm really surprised. I think it's a great shame they let Pan Am collapse. But I mean, the governments, what can they do? They can't rescue every fucking business, can they? You know what killed Pan Am, don't you? It's also what killed GM.
Well, the Lockerbie disaster when it blew up.
Pension plans. They had the liabilities for the pension plan. Like they have instead of nowadays, I don't know what it's like in America, but here in Australia, if people put money into a pension plan, they put it into the side and it's then invested. But in the old days, they just assumed their liability and would assume they could cover this with their fat. The problem was people were living far longer than they ever imagined, and they've got all these people they've agreed to pay a pension to. The company really struggles. Pan Am's biggest problem is Pan Am never had domestic routes. They couldn't link up well with other airlines. And they started selling off routes, and it's quite sad. Like Pan Am had that fucking building. They had a Pan Am building. I mean, that would have cost.
Are you thinking of the one in New York? The one in New York City, the old Pan Am headquarters. It's now MetLife.
Yes.
I love that building. That's one of my favorite buildings in New York City. That's still there. Yeah, that's the MetLife building.
It had a helipad on the top. You used to be able to go to JFK.
Yeah. You know why that went away too, don't you? You know why they got rid of that helipad, right?
Why is that?
There was a fatal accident on it. People got chopped up by rotors. One crashed.
Wow.
Oh, I see. The Empire State Building had a thing for blimps.
You know your stuff, man. You're more American than I am. Good for you.
Could you imagine trying to get out of a blimp onto the top of the Empire State Building? How does that work?
You need a Rolex Explorer for that. That's quite an adventure.
That'd be dangerous.
Yeah, especially on a windy day. That'd be scary. I mean, the Hindenburg blew up.
I went to the Empire State Building. I mean, that's one thing. It fucked me dead. They fuck around with so many history and this. Just take me to the top and let me have a look.
That's an extra fee.
They got to justify it, but that's an amazing building. Empire State Building, I think, is an amazing. I love the Chrysler Building. That's another amazing. What Chrysler doesn't exist. What do they make now? Shithouse automobiles now. Chrysler used to be the Mercedes-Benz of America.
No, they weren't. Where'd you get that from?
Like in the 20s and 30s?
I wouldn't call them the Mercedes. I mean, Cadillac was more that, and Lincoln, and then on top of that, the Rolls Royces. I mean, I think the best cars ever made were American. I would say it was Duesenberg.
They made Rolls Royces in America at one stage.
I did not know that, actually.
Yes.
Where'd they make? I didn't know about that. Where'd they make Rolls Royce?
Actually, the Silver Ghost, the really, really, really vintage. That was a 6-cylinder.
I remember they used GM transmissions at one point. I didn't realize they made any.
No. They used GM transmission. That was in the Shadow, which is a famous 60s car. This was before. This was cars in America. This was in the 1910s. 1921. 1921. The first American-made Rolls-Royce was delivered in February 29, 1921. There you go.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
This was a ghost? You were saying, or what was this post-ghost?
Yeah, they attempted to do it in the 20s, and I think the Depression kind of killed it off. But I'm a huge fan of I love Duesenbergs, Juicies, but they're
Hold
so
that.
expensive. They're so expensive. Juicies are.
There's an SSJ.
Ah, look at that.
There's an Auburn.
Full screen. Oh, what size are they? 1 to what? 1 to what? What are they? 1 to 18?
118. That's
Yeah,
an
I love
SSJ.
Wow.
I have an original painting of this. Here's your Auburn Speedster.
Yes.
And then I have a Cord too.
Yeah, the Cord. So with the Cords, you know about the Cords and Tucker, don't you?
Yeah, but you want to tell that story?
They pinched parts out of an old Cord in the 1950s Tucker. He went around America defacing Cords.
Well, and you want to talk about Tucker too? How they basically pushed him out of business when he was trying to make a better car?
Yes. Safety doesn't sell.
No.
Tucker was ahead of his time thinking wise, though. He really came up with a really odd design car.
What did he use from the Cord? It was the rear axle or something. What did he use from Cord?
Had to be the front because it was a rear engine car, wasn't it?
Cords were never on the same level as Duesenberg, but were they?
No, Duesenberg was the top of the top, and then Auburn, and then Cord, I think, was the entry level one, if I recall the pecking order. But Duesenberg was one of the level. Duesenberg was a Bugatti competitor.
Clark Gable, I think he had a Duesenberg.
Nice.
And he also, in the 50s, he got a 300 SL Mercedes, the Goldwing.
Oh,
Going.
Well, and back in that era too, they had the SSKs. You remember the SSKs in the 30s?
Yes, the supercharged.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Compressor.
Yeah, amazing cars, those.
Oh, and you can jump back on. I don't need people just staring at my face. Let's we can look at you.
I got a quick question. Was Bentley and Rolls-Royce ever related to each other?
Bentley, Rolls-Royce took over Bentley, so the business they were basically the same car up until when BMW took over Rolls-Royce. Bentley went to Audi. Audi. But there were some Bentleys that had Rolls-Royce BMW engines in them. It was a bit of a controversy about the naming rights. Basically, Bentley bought the naming rights. Bentley took over Rolls-Royce and Bentley, but the naming rights belonged to the aircraft division, which then sold that to BMW, and it was a bit of a shit fight over who owned the right to use that name. So basically, a modern Rolls-Royce is a BMW engineered product, whereas a modern Bentley is an Audi engineered product. And the fascinating thing is, with Volkswagen themselves, I don't know if you remember, they had the Phaeton, the V12.
I've driven the Phaeton. You started it, all the vent covers rolled up. Those are nice cars. Those are really nice cars.
But it was the wrong segment. I mean,
it's a cheap flying spur.
Well, they then used that technology into the Bentley. That's the engine that went. So there's a lot.
It's It's actually the same platform. That and the A8 are all the same platform. Ferdinand Piech, that was his mandate. That whole platform, yeah.
And that model is called the Phaeton.
I don't know what's worse to own, a Bentley or a Rolls Royce. What's worse to own now, a modern Bentley or a modern Rolls Royce? I've heard the Bentley is actually a bit of bigger trouble than the Rolls Royce.
Audi likes to make things in the German way overly complicated for what they are. So my guess is the Bentley's worse because Volkswagen products require a lot of disassembly to get to anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right there. We got another super chat.
Yes,
Let's
I have
catch
to
up on these
agree.
super chats. We got a super chat here. We got a super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Best sailing watch while setting sail through the Bermuda Triangle.
Has to be something anti-magnetic because apparently that's why ships get lost or some nonsense. But we have the Yachtmaster, of course. That's my pick.
I gotta be honest with you. Yeah, I think the best sailing watch. Fuck. I've never really been a big sailing person, but I reckon the best sailing watch it'd have to be the Yachtmaster 2. That's a regatta timer.
But
Regatta.
that's for racing.
Yeah, that's regatta. You're right.
The question
for sailing,
wasn't about
for
racing.
sailing through the
It was
Bermuda
about
Triangle.
sailing. Okay, so the Yachtmaster 2 is set up for, you know, it's got the 15-minute countdown timer and stuff. It's set up for boat yacht racing. Now, his question is best sailing watch whilst sailing through the Bermuda Triangle. So that's like, what's the best yacht watch for like open ocean, you know, cruising across in your big giant sailboat if you got it or whatever, you big motor.
It's a
yacht.
GPS watch then, right? You want a GPS
Yeah,
watch.
I think you'd want a GPS, and you know, like you said, something maybe mechanically or magnetically resistant. But then you know what? The first watch that popped into my head was the Chapek with the big giant Joker face on it. So that you just kind of walk through the valley of death, kind of flipping them off, you know, like going through the Bermuda Triangle wearing a crazy watch, you know, just going, aha. But then just my luck, you know, some weird thing would happen. And
well, Nick Miller in the chat said the Breitling Emergency, which I forgot about. That's probably the best because they can send rescue services to you.
I think you got to pay quite a healthy sum if you actually trigger that.
Oh, in air, yeah, it's a big fine.
Yeah, I mean for the like my transmitter and my handheld and on my instrumentation and stuff. If I trip that safety thing, you know, it was big bucks, the big fine.
You know, I really like some of these American vessels. Brunel. I like the engineer Brunel. Remember Brunel?
Isn't Kevin Brunel the Great Eastern?
Yeah. You know,
Proper engineer.
He designed a lot of stuff interesting. I got to tell you, I find with a lot of the it's a great sadness that the Industrial Revolution, the English sort of had that, and they've lost it all. All the great vessels, they're not made in Ireland or England now. They're made in Korea, Japan, or China. And the best ones are from Japan, actually. Japan has apparently the best quality there. We got a super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Pick a watch brand for the following: Romulan, Vulcan, Ferengi, Klingon, the Borg. This is Star Trek.
Ooh.
Pick a watch brand for the Romulan.
Great question.
Romulan, I'd say well, actually Vulcan, we would go with IWC. Ferengi, we would go with Rolex. Klingon, we would go with Klingon, we'd have to go with
Panerai or something big and
Borg,
chunky.
Borg. That'd have to be Invicta for the Borg. The Borg.
Nice.
Ryan Hoffery, $2. Give Alex Gillick a wrench. Great punter. Who is he? I don't even know who he is. I'll have a look there.
Alejandro.
I'll have a look.
Gillick.
Side note on shipbuilding, I like ships made in the Great Lakes of the United States the best. So you've heard of the Edmund Fitzgerald Navy, but we used to make ships in Michigan and Ohio.
Yeah.
Wow, cool.
Yes.
The Lakers.
It's Patel Philippe $2, F50 or Veyron.
F50 manual transmission V12.
Exactly. All day long.
The Veyron's too technical. Patel Philippe $2. Sent vid from producer Mark to your WhatsApp. Okay, I'll get that. I'll find it. Let me find it. Just getting it now. Oh, there we go. I'm just downloading it. Okie dokie. I'll get that coming up in a moment there. I got to tell you, America, in some ways, that's really sad that we don't even make lawnmowers in America. It's all China. We've exported all the jobs.
Yeah. Outsourced too
And,
much, man.
Still
It's
make
really-
ships. We still make submarines. But yeah,
Yes,
a lot of
we
the old
do.
stuff is gone.
Well, we closed down that submarine shipyard in Alameda, or Vallejo, the town very close to me. Used to be a submarine like shipyard. They used to have always used to have a couple of subs parked there, and they were doing repairs on them. And yeah, and then they shut the whole place down, and it just instantly one day was emptified of stuff and people. And in fact, Ghostbusters, or not Ghostbusters, Mythbusters, their shows based out of that, the old buildings that were used by them, by out in that.
Okay, I'm running the clip.
Abandoned
Let's run the
shipyard.
clip here. Let's have a look. This is the clip from our good friend here.
Oh my
This is,
God! They put like Ferrari shields on the side of a Miata.
Well, that might be a number patch.
I like that red.
Do you like that red there? They're a great car. The Mazda Miata is a great car.
We had this
I
car in
think-
white in the convertible. I love
think-
these cars.
I think this version of car, if you were to lower it, put like
Oh, I didn't-
larger wheels and tires on it, fill the fender wells up nicely, and lower it, that this car could look really, really mean and perfect. But as it comes, it's a Miata, or it's a Miata, right? It's the latest Miata.
Yeah, it's the RF. That's a nice car.
So it's still got skinny little tires, and it's still the little
can
car
drift
that
it.
it is. Yeah,
Ask me why.
but I mean, you can take. I mean, if you were to fill the fender wells up with as much meat as you could and lowered it, you could make a really good looking car out of it. It's like the Mazda RX-7. That one generation that was just flawless.
The turbo rotary one.
Yeah. But you didn't even need to touch those from the factory. They just did everything right about that car. But
Have you driven a rotary? They have no torque.
of course, yeah, they make all their motor, the torque at the peak RPM. It's kind of like BMW's V8 in their M3. They made their peak horsepower at their peak RPM. They were all horsepower, no torque motors.
65, yeah, the S65 motor, not a good motor, rod bearing motor.
Yeah, exactly. My friend had one.
I got to tell you, seriously, America, it's just the way it is. They've moved away from a lot of this stuff. They wanted to cut costs. You eventually, if you cut costs, you end up making nothing.
Ford's not even making cars anymore. They're only making trucks and SUVs.
Yes. It's how it goes. It is how it goes, I'm afraid. But what can you do, hey? What can you do?
Did you ever consider living in the United States, Archie?
Look, I've got 2 passports, an Australian passport and an English passport. So I would live in a country where I've already got citizenship. It's too hard. You know what I mean? Look, if I love America. I think America is fantastic, but what the fuck would I do? Look, to be honest with you, the dollar is the wrong way. Okay, so I get nothing. The dollar, US dollars. I'm too old now. I've paid into the system in Australia for me to go to America. America is a great place if you got a business. Like in my case, if I was going to move somewhere and doing YouTube, I'd want to go to a place that has less barriers. Do you see what I mean? Less barriers to running the business. Like I want low tax, and I can just live off what I do. But America, I got to be honest with you. I think you need a lot of money to survive in America well now. I don't
You
think
took all the burden out of it. Where would you want to live? If we took all the practice, since we're already living on HELOCs, so assuming you can HELOC your way to success, where do you want to live?
Okay. Where would I want to live? Well, put it this way. America is not a great country to be poor in.
Are there countries that are good to be poor in? I agree.
Australia is a great country. Well, nowhere is good to be poor. Okay, let's just paraphrase that. Nowhere is good to be poor. Okay. However, there are better countries where they have, like if you lived in Europe, right? Europe, I got to say, Europe itself, there, Europe is better because they got better welfare and things like that. But Europe is fucking cold in winter. What are you going to do if you're homeless? Fuck, you die outside there. You know what I'm saying? I think myself, my favorite countries, I like the cost. I personally love these countries like Asia, Thailand. You have countries like Vietnam, and I think the reason we like it is because we go there like kings. We go there with our money and we're kings, right? It's nowhere is cool to be poor. Okay, let's be honest there. I think realistically, any of these countries, if you're poor, they all suck. They suck. I think the worst country to be poor in would be like India or Africa. To be poor in Africa or India, fuck, that'd really be awful. But if you're rich, you have more choices. I think I think if you're rich, you got more choices. And for me, I kind of I lived in, like, I suppose I romanticize it a bit, but I think you want to live in a country that, okay, so I earn money. I can basically work anywhere. So the question is, someone like me, why the fuck would I, on my income, want to live in New York? Because if I lived in New York, your rent would be, okay, well, I don't know what does a studio cost in New York, but
$4K a month USD.
Okay, so instead of doing that, you'd be much better off to live in a country that has a lower cost. You get more bang per your buck. And let's be honest.
You got a bunch of super chats piling up.
Okay, I'll get them. But I just very quickly, I'd want to go somewhere where it's warm, money goes good. Vietnam is a great country. Thailand used to be. Thailand's changing a lot. And also Thailand is difficult for visa requirements. They're not as friendly. The funny thing is this. I looked at this. I wanted to move to Asia. In Hong Kong, with a British passport, I can stay 6 months in Hong Kong.
Oh.
The problem with Hong Kong is the fucking rent is expensive. Like, Hong Kong is one of the most expensive cities in the world to rent a dog box. So you think, I don't want to do that. So Thailand's difficult to stay. You can stay for 2 months, then you got to renew. You got to constantly renew. It's just fucking hassle.
Jet set lifestyle.
No, but I mean, if you want to relocate, what do you want? What are you looking for? What's wrong with where you are? And you basically is you want to have your money doesn't go very far. Does that
Yep.
make sense? So you want to
It
go to a
does.
country where your money goes much further.
When did I become the dreamer and you become the practical one? We've reversed roles here. I basically gave you a free for all and you got practical on me. What's going on here?
Well, you've got to be realistic. I mean, if I went to England,
Uh-huh.
see, the problem is, I've let me say this to you: if I did relocate,
Yep.
I've got a washing machine, I got a fridge here. This shit is worth it's worth nothing secondhand, very little. Who wants my old fridge? It's not worth much. But when I go to England and want to buy a fridge, oh my God, I got to buy a new fridge and a new washing machine and a very expensive. You understand what I mean? And if
You have $100 million. Where are you living?
Sorry?
I give you $100 million. Where are you going to live?
Singapore.
Good answer.
Singapore.
That wasn't so hard. Uh-huh.
Manhattan.
Uh-huh. There you go.
London.
That's what I wanted to get to. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's
Paris.
Better.
Yeah. I think yeah. Super chat. Thank you, Mikey. $5 AC3. What would be the wristwatch on your wrist of the being known as Q? One that can have whatever it wishes. AC3. What would be the wristwatch on the wrist of the being known as Q? It'd be that Patek minute repeater, perpetual calendar. I think for $1 million, that'd be it. That's it. I think that would be it. And the funny thing is, it's not that much different to this Breguet here. It doesn't look that much different.
So I had this experiment actually last night because I was at a Lange event, and I had friends with me that one guy was wearing a Bulova quartz watch, and we put $160,000 Lange in his hand, and he doesn't know what these prices are. And I'm like, which one do you like better? He's like, I like the Lange a little bit better. I'm like, did you look at the price difference between what you're wearing and what this cost? It's not a tangible thing. If you don't know what it is, you don't know.
You know, I've actually played this game before. I've taken non-watch people and said, what do you think this would cost?
They have no idea.
To gauge price. You know, and they look for Q. It's like going to a dodgy fortune teller. They're looking for clues. They're trying to read you. Come on, tell me, what do you think this would be? You just you can't give them clues. You know what I mean? And they have no idea. They have no idea what something is cost, and doesn't matter. But if they get value out of something, does that matter? You know, this is the other thing that happens. We've got another super chat. $5. Patel Philippe, describe ideal dress code and wristwatch for a trip on the Orient Express from Paris to Constantinople. That fucking Orient Express. That is one fucking expensive train. That is 19,000 pounds. Okay.
Really?
Honey.
Practically free.
Wow.
5 days. It's only 3 nights on the train.
33 or 3 nights?
3 nights on the train.
I thought I heard you say 33.
No. And I got to tell you, I'd love to go. Going on the Orient Express, I think would be an amazing train trip. Unfortunately, at that price, you know, really rich Americans, before they had private jets, had their own railway car.
Yes.
That's what they did. You'd pay to connect it up to a train.
Did you go to the Waldorf Astoria when you were in New York City?
I didn't, but I go on.
Do you know what's beneath the Waldorf Astoria is a private train station for people's private rail cars, and presidents have used it in the past, but it was where they would drop off personal carriages from rail cars so they could get off without getting out the main stations.
Wow, is that right?
That's right.
Is it open down there, or you can't see that? No.
The presidential train car, the armored car from I think it's Roosevelt, still down there. It's a private platform, and it's below. You look at there's some weird videos about it, but it's literally for what you said. It's for private rail cars to come in through the hotel through the sub basements. They're not with the public.
Yes, that was the thing, to have a private
Uh-huh.
rail car. That's just so fucking clinky, isn't
I mean,
it?
Putin's got one, and then Kim Jong Il or with Un has his own rail, his own train, his armored train. They're doing this now.
Yeah. No, Hitler had one as well.
Yeah, some of that still exists. Actually, they found some of his cars.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. I'm fascinated by that. I got ideal dress code. Fuck, I tell you honestly, I'd be quite happy. I gotta be honest with you. I would be quite happy. I'd be happy wearing my world time there, Tan. I'd be more than happy. Wear my world time, go on the train. I'd love to do that. Orient Express with some Louis Vuitton. Louis luggage. I think that'd be a trip of a lifetime. Is it worth 20,000? And that's just one person. You got to actually have a couple. You got to have two people. Fucking hell. I mean, realistically, I think it was 19,000 GBP to USD. That is 50,000 for a couple. $50,000, 75,000 Aussie. Fuck me dead. You still got to fly there. You wouldn't be flying economy if you're going to take that trip, would you? It's fascinating that this shit exists. I don't think I'd do it. I don't think I could afford to do it. It doesn't necessarily make you happy. Let me tell you this. I must tell you this. I remember being in the first class lounge of Singapore Airlines. I had a meal. They prepared a meal. A friend of mine flew first. I was going. He gave me a business ticket because I'd never pay for that shit. I remember being in first class. Any whiskey, anything you wanted, any food, all made. Boom, boom, anything you want. Nothing was out of the. And I remember being so miserable. Okay,
Why?
not because I was there, but because I had the burglary when all my watches were stolen, and I just felt, it's all relative. You think this stuff makes you so happy. Believe you me, there are people who have their own private rail car who stay at the Waldorf Astoria or stay at these legendary hotels, and they hate each other's guts. This is the funny thing. There are people who do this lifestyle and they don't appreciate any of it. They don't appreciate a Rolls Royce. They don't appreciate. See, I really like the enthusiast who loves Porsche and he buys a second or third or fourth hand Boxster. And it's not the greatest Porsche, okay? Yes, but he's living the Porsche dream. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
I think that's kind of special. And what's to say his dream isn't better than the pompous fuck who's got the GT3 and who's arguing with his wife in first class?
So let's play with you on this. People that go on the Orient Express are irrational and making weird decisions. So they're wearing a Cartier crash, perhaps. They watched that the V makes no sense and is ridiculously expensive. So they have poor decision making choices. Is that what we're saying?
No, I don't think it's poor decision. It depends. It's relative. It's like your friend who had the Rolls Royce.
Yep.
If his net worth is $1 million and he spends 600 on a car, that's dumb. But if he's a billionaire, it doesn't really matter that he spent 600,000 on the car. And he didn't spend 600,000 on the car. Let's be realistic. He had the fucking thing for how many years? 15 years.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And to your point, it's a fraction of his net worth.
He would have structured it for tax.
I'm sure it was a write-off as a company vehicle. Yeah, I didn't ask that question, but yeah.
And let's be totally honest, he probably doesn't even. He's not a purist. Like I'm more interested in the person who really loves it. See, I would jump in a Phantom I treat it with respect as it's still being a $600,000 car, whereas someone else would come along and say these are 50, these are nothing cars. They treat it like shit, and a lot of Americans, I don't think they realize how lucky they are. They have so much stuff that is so beautiful, so affordable, and they automatically assume it's garbage because they can go into it. Does that make sense?
Is that just an American condition? Australians don't do that?
No, I think the more expensive they are, the less it is. So
Yeah.
it's I think it's that it's more attainable in America.
Mm.
Like in Singapore, I told you this story. Listen to this. I saw a guy, he would have been an executive or something. He had a 7-year-old F30 BMW 3 Series.
Yep.
And he treated it like a Rolls Royce, okay?
Yep.
This is in Singapore, and that's because the fucking car was 300,000 Singapore dollars when he bought it.
Yep.
To him, it was always he never treated it like shit. It was always a beautiful, expensive car. Do you understand the fact that it's 7 years old doesn't diminish the fact he paid 300,000 for this thing.
Yeah, here it's driven by a 16-year-old back and forth to school every day, and they crash it regularly and don't change the oil and run around with flat tires. It's a used
10
car.
years old, it just gets pawned off for 10 cents on the dollar.
We never really, we had, the 645 BMW. You guys treated them like, they were always expensive here. They were always.
I like those cars. Yeah, I like those cars.
They were always a rich person's car, you see.
Got a bunch of super chats again.
Super chats. Let's catch up.
Sorry to interrupt.
So the Orient Express. If I was going to go on, I think I'd wear the world time. GB 20 Mex. What watch do you wear with a Lebanese pager AC3? I think he's talking about those things that exploded. Something cheap. These things exploded. Yeah, something cheap and nasty. Patel Philippe, $10. If a doctor regenerated as AC3 and the TARDIS was to take him to the ideal year for best bang per buck, all his wish watches to hold for investment, which year would it be? This is a Doctor Who.
I actually watched.
I gotta be honest with you. I think probably the best time for watches bargains you could pick up was probably in the mid to late 90s. Internet hadn't taken off quite yet. You could buy second. People didn't understand. Knowledge is power. If you know something's worth more in a different market, this is why eBay and things like that mushroomed. Now everybody's an expert in stuff, whereas beforehand they had no idea what something was worth. Now you just Google it. What's you can find 20 for sale. Oh, okay. You can very simple to price something up. So
I would actually go with you. Yeah, I might even say the 70s or the 80s because you could still pick up the original Daytonas for next to nothing. The original Rolex used to be a tool watch, right? They were never affordable. They were never luxury either. They were just considered a really good watch.
But what would it be like to go back to that time period but be poor and have no money to buy them anyhow?
You're making this depressing, man. What's going on with you? You need a hug.
Yeah, that wouldn't be much fun, would it?
We got a super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Show us some of the ghost platforms of Sydney in honor of our good friend Strider. They had some ghost platforms in Sydney. I've never actually it's interesting. Ghost platforms, I'll just see if I can find them. Ghost platforms Sydney. These are platforms that trains go through. I'm just trying to find it. Just trying to find it here. Here we go, guys. Just bring this up here. Ghost platforms. Here we go. There's stations that don't exist. Platforms. Yes. Very, very, very interesting stuff there. We got a super chat here from Patel. I didn't know about the Waldorf Astoria. That's
Astoria. It's named after Astor from the Titanic fame.
yes, amazing.
If you look it up, you'll see the rail car probably. I think people have taken pictures of it, Urban Explorers. I watch a lot of Urban X stuff. There's also, speaking of nerdy crap in New York, there's a power plant underneath Grand Central Station too, or terminal. It's a terminal that the Germans tried to bomb during World War II as well.
Here's the secret train platform.
There it is. Yeah, that's the armored car for Roosevelt.
Oh, I see. It's run down. It's all dusty in that now.
So they don't use the rail there anymore, but they do bring presidents through there through the basement. I've heard they used to use so the deal with him specifically is he had polio and he couldn't walk, and it was a secret that he couldn't walk. So they would take him on the train, load him into his car, and load him in his car seated up an elevator and out the hotel. So he was always seen seated and not standing. So people didn't know he was disabled.
I see.
It's all protecting him. I mean, yeah, who uses rail cars anymore, to your point? So they don't really use it anymore, but it's still there.
Yeah. We got a super chat. Patel Philippe, $10. Jay Anthony helped AC3 understand the ROI here. Work with me, not against me, big boy. If you paid the 20,000 trip and kept paying the 20,000 trip on the Orient Express, but you bag a rich Mrs. Lai, worth it. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing.
That's priceless.
That's the dream we all have, isn't it? Hey. Yes. Very, very good ROI here. Depends how many. See, the funny thing is, there are people who are that rich. It's very hard to connect with them. And the funny thing is, I think you find that once you start talking $1 million rules most people of the earth out. Most people aren't don't have a net worth of $1 million. Then you start going 1 million, 2 million, the numbers just doink, 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 die off. To actually find really rich people, there aren't that many really rich people around. And do you want to be a slave to them? More so, just because they have $1 million or several $1 million doesn't mean they're going to give you any of the $1 million. You become their slave. Surviving off their breadcrumbs. Do you want to do that? Is it worth it to survive off their breadcrumbs? Their cast-offs?
I think there's more wealthy people out there than you would know. And a lot of the ones that I know that are very wealthy, you would never guess are wealthy because they dress not to impress. They very much like to blend in.
Totally agree. Yes.
But I'm more of an Ayn Randian. So it's like, what right do you have to their money anyway, right? What did you do to deserve it?
Good point.
But I'm a jerk.
No, and the reality is, I think freedom is worth a lot more than money in many cases. To do your own thing.
Yeah, that's beautifully said.
Actually, I'll tell you a story. I got a friend of mine who was married to this woman, right? This is a true story. He's actually a professional musician. He's comfortable. Okay, George. And he married this woman. This was in the 80s. She had one bank account. He saw $3 million in the 80s.
That's like 10 million now. Yeah, that's a lot.
And he said to me, he remembers one time they would drive. He goes, "Oh, they got the new Land Cruisers in. They got new." She goes, "Oh, let's go and have a look." And she said to him, "What color one do you like best?" He goes, "Oh, I like the red one." She just wrote a check and bought it. But what he said was they had no sex life. And he said it basically drove him nuts to stay with her because there was no intimacy kind of in the relationship. He said, "I don't care." In the end, he was quite a nice guy. He separated with her and said, "I don't want any of your money. I just want to leave." Because they just lived like friends. They didn't have any kind of physical relationship. And he said she had all the money that he could in the world. Doesn't mean she will give you her money. Her money is her money. She's not going to be stupid. Otherwise, she would be poor to start with. She would have given it away to some other asshole. But he said it sometimes he said it just was very difficult to be with a person who wasn't in that sort of clique as far as relationships. So sometimes, you think you want these things, but realistically, what is it you want? Do you want a Rolls Royce? Do you want a Bentley? Do you want, well, what is it you want? And the reality is, sometimes simple life is better. Sometimes depends what you really.
Can I ask you a personal question? You're welcome to decline.
You can ask me anything. Whether I answer or not is another thing, but you can ask.
Hey, I'm right there with you. When you think of the happiest moments in your entire life, were they things that you could buy, or were they things you just had to experience? Like what's one of the best things that ever happened to you? And was it something you bought?
Look, obviously, children and things like that there. Take that away, and then we'll have a look at sort of happiness things. And the real answer is a lot of it is experiences. And the thing is,
I'll watches. Move on. Problem solved.
Problem solved. Here we go. We've got Patel Philippe, $5. Jay Anthony, thoughts on the Lambusku style from Tokyo?
Oh man, Tan, you hit my kryptonite. The car guy in me hates cars that are not original and have been untastefully modified. The Gaijin Japanophile in me is like, it's fine. And so I've seen a couple that I hate, like leopard print ones that I don't understand. But there's some Diablos that are pretty tasteful that I'm okay with. So because Japan did it, it's fine. If it was in the US, I'd be upset about it. You ever seen these, Archie? They're just like bedazzled with all sorts of chrome and random crap on them.
Yes.
They're like carnival. They look like carnival rides. Some of them, they get pretty crazy.
Yeah. They had that Japanese car maker. Have you seen that Japanese car maker, Matsusuka?
Yeah, they're very gaudy.
And actually, I was in Japan and I saw this car. It looked like a Nissan had sex with a Jaguar Mark II. I thought, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what they are. They're Nissans.
And they are actually expensive. They weren't cheap. They were dear. But they basically they were an interesting thing. The problem is they're not cost effective. Mitsuoka,
isn't it? Isn't it Mitsuoka? I think it's Mitsuoka, I think.
Yeah, that's it. It had that gaudy, that fucking gaudy. They used a lot of Nissan underpinnings.
Yeah, they are. And they didn't do the interiors. The interiors are stock on a lot of them. And the interior is like that first one, the Lesade, has a stock like 240 interior in it. They didn't even do the interior in it.
Yeah. Well, any customization work is very expensive. This was the Jaguar Mark II sort of copy. It was, it was kind of interesting. You know what I mean?
I don't like these. I hate these cars.
They did the MX-5. It looks like a Morgan. You know the MX-5?
It looks like, I don't know if I've seen that one. That might be interesting. I do like the Morgans.
Yeah, but I think you'd just buy a Morgan if you really wanted a Morgan.
Yeah. I think these things are hideous, and I love everything Japanese. Like the Arachi or whatever is ugly. That looks like a Corvette.
Here, this was the Mitsuka Roadster. See, it's a longer.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh yeah. I see it. You're right. That does look like a Morgan. Oh, they're saying XJ120, but I see the Morgan too. You're right.
but I mean, you just buy a Morgan. If you really wanted a Morgan, you'd buy a Morgan, wouldn't you?
No, you want one that's a 4-cylinder with 120 horsepower, right? That's what it's all about, with an automatic transmission and a cloth seat interior.
Actually, you know
I know.
something about Morgans. Do you know what engine Morgan uses now?
I guess they were using like Audi V8s and stuff, weren't they, for a while? What are they doing now?
No. BMW.
Oh, they're
Morgan
better off.
uses BMW. They use the B48 and the B58.
Oh, I did not know they did that. Okay, I guess. I mean, I like that better than the Audi V8.
Because if you look at the switchgear, it looks like an F30 switchgear.
You pull up a picture. I didn't know they did that. I'm okay. I think I'm okay with that. The B58 I do hear is pretty decent.
Well, the B58 Morgan.
They're calling it the modern 2JZ, and apparently it's decently reliable.
These are the Morgans, right? Look,
Oh, it's got the stupid BMW automatic shifter. Oh,
yeah.
I don't want
What do
that.
you think?
Oh, I'm sick.
And the plus 6 is that uses the B58 and the B48 and the plus 4. I mean, this is classic. This is a 60s Morgan.
Yeah, that's cool. These things have like wood frames on them too, right? Then they have like a lot of woodwork in them.
Ash. They still have an ash frame.
That's the modern Morgan, right? Right there.
Oh yeah, you called it. Do you ever like the Spikers? I think a Spiker too.
I love the Spiker. I love the shifter.
Morgan, if it uses a BMW engine, it's not going to be a bitch to fix, then, is it?
No, I mean Toyota was good enough for them to put their name on the car that's not made by them. So I mean that says something. I have a friend who owns a BMW dealership in my area, and he said that people have brought in Supras to tune. He actually cannot access the car with BMW software. Toyota has their own software on the car.
Yes.
People tune them.
We got another super chat here. Patel Philippe, $5. Thoughts on the Sultan of Brunei's modified F40 collection? Now, oh my God. His brother went crazy on cars. You know that? I don't know if you remember, they customized so many cars.
I feel like they have like hundreds of cars, if I remember right. Like they're all bespoke stuff.
Yeah, they ended up selling a lot off. Let's have a look.
I don't want to see a screwed up F40. I'm a little afraid.
These are the Sultan of Brunei cars. They have the
that's a
Ferrari
56 that they turned into a wagon. Oh my God.
Bentley.
So
what
weird.
about this? That's a big.
Oh, looks like it melted.
Wow. Swoopty doopty.
That's a bit over the top, isn't it?
That's nauseating. Poor rolls.
That kind of reminds me of like North Korea or something.
I mean, Rolls and Royce would be like mortified to see a Rolls that look that way. Oh, he's got a yellow F1. That's nice. R129, 550, Bugatti EB.
Was that not a Bugatti?
He had a Bentley. What about this?
Oh, wow.
These were customs. Oh, this is the station wagon. Sorry, this is the one. This is the Bentley.
I like that. I like that. I think Queen Elizabeth had something like that too at one point. I like that. Not in yellow, but that's cool.
Looks like a big Volvo.
I like shooting brakes. It's kind of like a hearse, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like a Suburban with a stretched hood.
How's that for a Bentley?
I think the Bentayga is a big improvement over that thing.
This was it here. This was the ultra rare Bentley Turbo R wagon. This is
That's cool. That's cool.
There you go.
I like
That's
that.
it. That is the and it was crazy money new. You know, it was 1.2 million pounds new.
The problem with that car is if
Holy
I'm picking a 90s wagon to keep, I'm getting an E39 M5 Touring over that, but that's a cool car.
Look at the interior. Would you like the interior
Wow.
there?
That's like a teal. That's so 90s. That's kind of cool, actually. I don't hate it.
No, it's fucking
Was
ridiculous.
that the Turbo R motor in that too, or is that like the base just V8? Do you know if this is the Turbo R? It's based the Turbo
I
R.
think
I'm
it's
reading
the Turbo R. I think
description.
it's the Turbo.
Yeah.
It's the Turbo.
You need it for the extra weight. You said this mineral oil suspension too that I hear is a pain to keep up with.
That's the yellow
Wow.
one. Look at that.
It looks like McDonald's. It looks terrible. Do you like this? I drive this. This is cool.
Uh,
Not my color scheme. The hell's that? Yuck.
pictures of the family hunting.
Oh my god.
What do you think?
I'm not narcissistic enough to appreciate that. I'm the wrong audience.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like it.
kinda,
Okay.
yeah, I feel the same way as you. I kind of,
Huh.
yeah, okay.
Hopefully, he doesn't watch this. No, I mean no offense. You know, each their own.
No, that's exactly it there. We've got another super chat here. We've got a super chat, Graham R. Arch, please look up Breguet 5817BR. Those rose gold with rubber strap and black dial with silver rings. Have you ever seen a cooler piece? Apple of my eye. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We'll have a look here.
Black dial with silver rings.
Reggae 5817R. Da 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 da. Oh, 57. It's a marine.
Oh, it's a marine, yeah.
BR. Not just R. It's BR.
Yep, got it. BR.
Okay.
Look, it's a marine. Then I think they look. They got a certain elegance and class to them. I prefer mine. I got to be honest with you. I prefer mine as a Type 21. But any Breguet is special. There's little intricate things on Breguet. Breguet is fantastic buying secondhand. You buy this stuff secondhand. That's the sweet spot, the value spot on this stuff. It's about buying this stuff secondhand.
It's funny actually. I saw a guy last night that had a Breguet Tourbillon, and I looked up used. They're like $30,000 used. They were like 130 grand new. They've lost $100,000 in value.
Yep. Oh, Jaeger LeCoultre, their tourbillon is similar.
That was the Reverso they did it on, right?
No, they did it as a master control. Master control. They did it as a master control.
What does the service on one of those cost? I'd be afraid to find out.
Actually, Breguet's not terrible. I'm a tourbillon,
Really?
of course. Tourbillon is going to be dear. Tourbillon's dear, but I had one Breguet I had to get serviced because you can't get parts. See, this is the thing about the watch industry I can't stand. Like when I say to myself, when do I feel like fucking had enough of watches? An independent can't get parts. I mean, let me say this to you. It's like would you honestly become a watchmaker knowing that you can never get parts? It's like becoming a Rolls-Royce technician where you can never, ever get parts. You can only ever work at the dealer. I mean, and they're going to squeeze you as cheap labor. I mean, seriously, if the auto industry did that, there'd be antitrust. They'd be sued for antitrust. Okay.
Have you looked up John Deere? there's a current right to fix lawsuit, and Tesla's been in the same legal battle the last couple of years about denying people
John
service.
Deere is interesting because they can turn their leased equipment. If you don't pay your lease, they can turn it off by the satellite and it won't start. And they did that to the Russians. They did that to the Russians. Did you know that? All these
No, I did not
Ukrainian
know
John
that.
Deere tractors were stolen, right?
Wait,
They
hold on. I don't
stole
know this story. This is a new story for me.
Yeah, so they stole all these tractors from Ukrainian farms, took them to Russia.
Yeah.
The Russians, John Deere turned them off. I mean,
Oh my God.
because without the ECU, it's like my BMW. Like honestly, if you get behind in your payments, it's got all these wonderful tracking things. You can find the car. Where is it? Well, do you think if you're behind, they're not going to turn it off?
Oh, my Bronco has the same stuff, and I had it all deactivated because I paid for it.
No, but you understand what I mean. They can
Yeah,
turn
exactly.
things
Yeah,
off.
they can remotely deactivate, or the government can track you.
And I get it. I mean, that's okay. Look, I don't really mind. I mean, I get it. It's a business, but John Deere, they have the right to repair. They have that big thing. What they're saying is that you can only ever go to John Deere to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And
farmers can't afford that.
Sorry?
Yeah, farmers can't afford that.
Well, the problem is with older John Deere stuff, it wasn't like that. You could, by the time it became second or third hand, it went down to people who would then, it was simple. The problem is all this new stuff, it's all electronics now.
Yes.
They control it. So you can't service John Deere equipment through non-John Deere service center, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with John Deere. John Deere is like any other brand. They provide a good product. The product, John Deere stuff, is good stuff. I mean, it's expensive, but it's like Caterpillar. Caterpillar is also good stuff.
Yeah, they don't do this though, as far as I know.
But what I'm saying is, it's becoming more. It's like the modern cars. If you have a modern car, if you don't have that computer to plug in and to read it, well, you have no. There's a limit to what you can do. And
you cannot reset the oil light in a modern BMW without a BMW computer.
Sorry, say that again.
I said it's difficult to reset the oil light in a modern BMW without one of their computers.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yes. You can't even do basic maintenance without an annoyance.
Correct. Well, there's no dipstick.
Yep. Why do you need that? Never change the oil, right? It's good for life. It's sealed for life.
It's funny. BMW years ago had like a 2-year warranty, and they had a scheduled oil maintenance of every 3,500 miles, and I believe that's what it was. And or maybe it was like 5,000 miles. But when they went to their 4-year, 40,000-mile warranty on anything they sell, miraculously the oil interval changes went to every 15,000 miles.
Yeah, no, they did a few things. I actually had spoken
So
to a few mechanics about that. It's not quite as simple as that. What they actually did was, and Mercedes did the same thing. So basically, what they wanted to say is your car needs servicing once a year. Okay, that was the idea of it. Okay, and what they did was they actually increased the size of the oil pan, so you actually put more oil in. Because if you have more oil in, it's going to last longer. It's not as concentrate. And the other thing they do is they use a fully synthetic. Now, my view is on a turbo car, you are asking for trouble. Oil is one of the cheapest insurances. Oil and filter is one of the cheapest insurances you can do. And the funny thing is they sell a lot of these modern BMWs with a service. You actually have to go out of your way to get extra services done. That's the whole thing. You've got to go out of your way to get. It's hard to say. I use an independent because I still want the services done by BMW. BMW won't do extra services, And if you pay for it, they still won't do the you know what I mean? They're really nasty. So I get my independent to change the oil without updating the computer.
I didn't realize they were denying services now.
Sorry?
I didn't realize they were actually denying services now.
No, because I got a service pack, which is so many services, but their service pack, they don't do extra. You got you know what I mean? And they say the oil is condition based. They replace the oil when it tells them to. But it doesn't really know. It doesn't have a microscope and it doesn't do a check every fucking time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if it's as accurate as my fuel economy gauge in my cars, it's not very accurate.
We got a super chat here from Graham R. All right, check out the 6202 in steel. More of a hype piece, but truly majestic in person. Best Royal Oak. None of the superfluous bulk. I got to tell you, this is the thing. This Marine, so much respect for it. It's a Breguet. It's just so beautifully, so unique, so wonderfully done. Why isn't this popular? Why do people want hypey stuff? And it's really, it's sad. AP 16202.
This is the jumbo, I think, 16202,
yeah,
right?
This is the 39 mil.
Yeah.
This is the one that is basically, it's a throat, because it doesn't have, interestingly enough, it doesn't have a second hand or a screw-in crown. This is like the original. It goes, it's only minutes and hours, no seconds. You see, I don't know if you noticed that, but this, because it's a throwback to the original 1972 jumbo.
I have a good. Oh, go ahead.
Beautiful watch. Very delicate. Very delicate. I had a friend of mine who's owned I've got a few friends who've owned them, but delicate.
Yeah, I have a friend who has one of these now, and it's his daily wear. He has several APs. He's got a solid gold Daytona, 2 presidents. He has that. I think I sent you a picture of his paddock last night. He's got a billion watches, but this is the one he wears all the time. It's like what, 39 mil? I think these are 39.5, something like that.
Yeah, they're at 39 because that's the original size. Absolutely beautiful watch. Delicate. But I got to tell you, I think myself, everyday watch, something I really do love. I love my Rolex. 2 Rolexes I really adore. Explorer and Bluesy. I mean, for me, just a great pair of watches to have and behold. Diver and a GMT, 1 steel, 1 two-tone. Fuck, I love them. And I mean, look, these can still get scratched, but they are a very nice base, I think, to work with. I think they're very cool. Rolex makes such beautiful everyday watch. What would you rather wear every day? If you're going to wear a watch every day, I think Rolex is such a cool brand for that. Such a cool brand.
I agree with you. I wear my Polar and I wear my Yachtmaster every day. Those are the ones I always go to.
Rolex, just such a great.
You don't worry about them. You can bang them into a wall and they're going to be fine.
Well, I mean, you can be careful. I mean, you always be careful. Always be careful. But they are what they are, Guys, we've had a fantastic show today. I want to thank Mike the Snake for coming on, Jay Anthony, of course, Pa, who came on, Indian guy, very nice. We had Naki Poo. We even had Eddie. Eddie, thank you, Eddie. And, of course, we had Mark Goldberg, the greatest dog trainer in the world. The best watches to enjoy. The best watches to enjoy.
Yeah, one more super chat. Somebody got you.
Oh, somebody got me. Great. Super chat. Piano Man. Piano Dude, $2. Okay, I will play that. Before we play that, let's go through and thank our sponsors and super chatters today. We had Patel Philippe. Fella, let me know if you want to buy the box. Patel Philippe, fella. Patel Philippe. Sam Davidson. Patel Philippe. Dirk Diglock. JD Montreal. Patel Philippe. Dirk Diglock. Frank the Tank. Producer Mark. Patel Philippe. Thomas Burnett. Little Dave. Patel Philippe. The Narc. Patel Philippe. Jefferson Exotic. Patel Philippe. Without Patel, we're sinking. Without the Patel, we're fucked. Patel Philippe. Producer Mark. Patel Philippe. Ryan Hoffery. Patel Philippe. GB. Patel Philippe. Graham R. Get the Breguet. Graham R. Get the fucking Breguet. I don't care what any of these guys say. That Marine, fraction of the money. Fuck. And you know, the Breguet has the most beautiful box as well. It's just fucking gorgeous. Graham R. and Herman, the piano dude. So let me see if I can get this up to play. I'm just getting it up on the screen now. We will play this for Herman. Da-da-da-da. Here we go. It's on the screen. Here we go.
Hip hop is the proof that society and the human race are in severe decline. This is a famous hip hop tune. Bling 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 bling. And the words are like, oh yeah, I'll be doing this, and yeah, no, this is fronting, yeah, bitches and hoes, yeah, cause I'm sleeping there, in the crib, in the hood, yeah, the ride, got my bride. It's very similar to bum 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 bum, straight out of Compton, bum 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 bum, asinine. Hip hop is the proof that
I think he raises some good points there. Music's always been cutting edge, you know. You could argue this many ways, but hey, I mean, let's face it, the reason they invented electric guitars and that, instead of having a big kick-ass orchestra to make sound, you just need 4 guys on stage with a big fucking amp. And the best thing about it is, too, they don't need to know about sharps or flats, or just play all in the key of C. No sharps, no flats, and hey, man, it's so cool. That's and let's face it. That's how American food, you could compare this to food. Look at American food, salty and sweet. That's what they like, salty and sweet. Their cars, big and loud. No handling, no safety. Big, loud, bang per buck. Now, you can be very cynical about this, but there are some very good American cars as well. The Lincoln from the 50s, for example. It's Herman. Price is everything. Service doesn't matter. As long as you're happy. That's all that matters. As long as you are happy. Guys, that's it for today. It's been great chatting. We'll have more boat talk. I'm glad now that Sirocco's gone. Jay Anthony, did you ever remember in my country in the 70s, people started manufacturing like a yacht in their backyard using concrete as a building product?
I haven't heard this, no.
Okay, in my country, people started building boats with concrete. Okay, that was a bit of a topic of discussion. Concrete vessels.
They haven't done so
Obviously,
well. The ones I know of.
Sorry?
The ones that I know of that were made commercially didn't do so well. They're artificial
Yeah.
reefs now, or they're gone.
They used them in World War II, concrete vessels as
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The big problem with concrete, of course, is that it is incredibly, you spend a lot more in fuel getting it somewhere because it's fucking heavy. And it's a bitch, really. It's not really meant as a building material, is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. Guys, that is the show for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Love you all. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, guys.
Percy.
Good show. See you later, guys.